Yo, my man.
It's 9 and we're live.
Here we are.
And I'm going to get my bang report.
Gentlemen, salutations.
Hello, Phil. You kicked the shit out of that hurricane?
Please. It walked past the state. It kept popping its shirt, cocked to the side of the shoulder, and it was like, you know what? It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And then it got back in its Buick LeSabre and drove away.
It's 1987 Buick LeSabre, blue on blue, possible convertible top.
Meanwhile, Billy's side of the state was like, what the hell? We were waiting.
We got a couple showers that were like less dramatic than thunderstorms here.
That was just the trash talking from like far away, like across the parking lot. Yeah, you better walk away.
Yeah, that's all it was.
That's what that was.
Like Joe Dirt yelling at the old guy with the oxygen tank at the fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, you better keep walking, smart ass.
That when Hannah hit us, I guess, 2 or 3 weekends ago, for some reason we were so lucky. My house and my neighborhood kept power. Everybody around us was out for at least 24 hours.
Oof.
We got real lucky.
Hey, Chris, that's a nice hat, man.
Yeah, I like it.
Yo, yo, my man Billy. I heard word on the street got one. Phil, do you wear hats?
I do.
Oh, I'll send you one. Yeah,
would
any
love
of the guys that wear hats, I gotta get y'all hats.
That was
get
not-
everybody rent.
That was not my way of asking for one. I was legitimately like just commenting like, "Hey, look, hat looks good." You know, I know. I saw Billy's.
Fresh. Hit me up.
they're
DM
nice,
me.
man.
South Texas Snake Daddy _6969 at yahoo.com. Just hit me up.
That's it.
Classy.
Oh man, so I got to meet a scrub python this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna ask you when you got that, but apparently it's not yours.
No, can't have them in city limits. But it was at the show. What an animal, man! What a specimen.
Yeah.
What kind was it?
So the guys that were selling it were really sweet, but they were importers and they didn't know. It was like fresh. It had been in the States for 2 weeks.
Okay.
But it was really clean and really pretty. I think it was a barnet. It looked like it. Phil, are you saw that picture?
Yeah. I don't know. It's very, very light for Barnack. I mean, it could just be like farm bred mutt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a gorgeous animal. It looked more southern to me, but I have a hard time telling, to be honest. Like, I'm not the guy to ask.
In person, the creaminess and the kind of iridescence they have, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah. Stellar animals.
They had it just like in a 20-gallon aquarium, and dude, that thing was on. I mean, it was looking at everybody that was walking by it. It knew that it was in a glass aquarium.
See, that sucks, man. I know it's kind of hard to do, but like whenever I see something like that at a show, I almost feel like someone should make like, you remember those like little cardboard boxes that you would put on front of like, or not even cardboard. What was it? It was like that accordion material that was on the old school cameras.
Oh, so you can like look in it to see it?
Yeah. So like, just like, I wish that people would have like a little viewing port. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
you put your head underneath a black canvas or a black sheet or something, and there's a little LED light in there. So like the snake just sees the black walls, and then you just put your face, and maybe you just sees your face for a moment, and it isn't stressed out by the show.
Yeah.
What's up, Blondie?
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
You gotta speak in the microphone, girl.
No, she's muted.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, you're muted. We can't hear you.
There she is.
What are we talking
There
about?
you go.
Are we talking about
Whatever you want
cigars
to
or
talk about.
snakes?
Snakes.
Oh, I have crap taste in both.
But the fact that you partake in both is exquisite.
I don't. Justin's been trying to get me to smoke, and I'm like, he's like, come on, it'd be so cool. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I need you to take that sentence and replace cool with sexy.
Yeah, that's usually what he says. I was just kind of editing it.
This is a family show, so we can say sexy.
I don't
I
know.
don't smoke them either.
So
You what?
I don't smoke them either.
Oh.
So I get it.
Billy has enough sex appeal that he doesn't need to smoke. Not saying that you don't. I'm just saying.
Congratulations, Billy.
Okay. Thank you. It's been a long time coming.
At least Phil is cognizant of that. So.
Quite.
So what's your taste in snakes? What kind of snakes do you like?
Really the only snakes that I like are those little gray bands Justin had for a while. Because they're so little. So cute.
They're really pretty too.
They are. They are really cute. They have a nice color on them, and they were just like super easy to handle, and they didn't get freaked out, and so and then
Alterna have a great attitude.
But Justin has I think his name is Biggs. I call him Big Al, and he's the Brettles, and he's pretty cool. He's the friendliest snake I've ever seen. Like he's so chill. He's like a lap dog. He just wants to hang out with you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't have boas and pythons where I live, but Brettles would be on my list for sure. They're really neat animals.
Justin probably has a few. I think isn't that what he was breeding? And got eggs from? No. It's the little snakes that look like cats. Is it the cat snakes?
No, those are the boigas.
Those are boiga.
That's what it is. I pay attention.
It's got the green boy.
We got green ones, and we got brown ones, and we got ones that look like cats. That's all I got.
I'm on round 2 for my Calibri V cutter. This is my second one because I lost the first one. So we out here making moves.
Oh, good job, Phil. That's a nice cut.
Yeah. Pac-Man.
I'm ready.
Nice, Billy. What are you drinking, Billy?
This summer stuff.
Nice.
Oh, nice. I've had that before. It's good.
Need to get my libations going for the evening. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Woo!
This evening, I'm smoking the Tabernacle again. Look where they're.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that majestic bastard.
Oh yeah, that takes me back.
What's that?
That takes me back.
Oh yeah.
Justin's about to start smoking another Romacraft. That's what he likes. That's the go-to.
Victoria. This is a glass of 50% Hendrix gin, which I know shouldn't smoke cigars and drink gin, and 50% Monster Copper, the mule one, the Moscow Mule one.
All right.
Love the ginger.
Nice. Isn't that technically a Kentucky? No, Kentucky Mule is with bourbon, right?
I believe so.
I don't know.
I'm not a
so.
big bourbon. I can't drink gin either because it makes me want to fight people. But
That's awesome.
just one time.
Little Antonio 1970 Hoyo de Nicaragua. These are awesome.
Nicaragua. Beautiful.
These are good.
Beautiful. And yes,
It's
Justin is gorgeous this evening.
Thanks, Dominique.
Mm.
Oh, he's back. See you later.
Does he have to be?
Does he have to be? I said he's back, and Bill said, "Does he have to be?" I don't know. He's got some hype music going, so I think he's ready to
I
chat.
forget that he listens to music while he's interacting with us.
Always? Or is that a new thing?
We don't know. It could have been from the beginning. We'll never know.
Yeah. It's the same music he had on earlier when he was playing. What video game were you playing earlier? Destiny. He was on Destiny earlier.
I thought you were when he was running in place.
No, I'm always like, I come out and I like do a rave dance or something when he has it on. Cause I'm like, are you hyped? Are you pumped? Are you into this?
Is there a bang on the desk there somewhere?
If you're gonna do this, you can't complain about me being up late
There it is.
when you're gonna
Yep.
That's our
We
man.
knew it was there. Yeah.
thing.
All right. He wants to talk to you guys now.
Of course it is. Bye.
So Chris, I got a question.
What's up, man?
So I was going through your page. I didn't know you had Baja rats, or I did and I forgot.
I do. I have a female Big Sur from Bill Hughes. It's Bill Sur, or Big Sur locality, and then I have a pair of Bay of Conception F1s from a buddy of mine. They're actually in Florida right now because we're waiting. I got them like a year ago, but we're waiting for like perfect temps to ship them. But yeah, Baja rats are cool, man.
Yeah, man, I've been interested in them. They're cool snakes.
Chris has all the rats.
All of them.
Good.
Except for Barrett's. Except for Barrett's, because Justin got to wait. Got to get him from the king.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very
The
fair.
king would be able to hatch out a clutch without cooking him too much. So.
In time, my friend, in time.
It takes time, yeah. Yeah, the Baja rats are really, really neat, really placid animals, but they are extremely frustrating. They're like,
Also,
did you just open my tub to check on me? I'm going to throw up for the next 3 weeks. So they're so secretive animals. They don't like being held. They're not nippy. They're not whippy. They don't run around. They don't bite, nothing. But if something like disrupts them, they're off kilter for like a week or something. It's really weird. And they probably have the slowest growth rate of any animal I've ever seen.
that's weird. In a colubrid. But
Yeah, they're funky. It's anything from the Bogertrophus family, the two species in it, Subox and Bajas. As far as my collection, they are totally different. Everything about them is odd, right? The way they kind of handle everything, smaller meals, their interaction, their reactions to things, they're just very peculiar animals. They definitely fall outside the realm of a typical North American rat.
I like it. That makes me like them even more.
It is. They're cool, man. They're like little tiny pythons almost. They even feel different in your hands. It's funky.
Huh. Yeah, 'cause I've been interested in them. They definitely caught my eye. So
It's definitely a species worth giving a shot.
There it is.
I didn't know if that was supposed to be for now or for in a few minutes when you had some.
I got to be honest. I couldn't remember what the hell they looked like. So that was for me.
Yeah. Adults are kind of doo-doo snakes.
Yeah, but I love doo-doo snakes, man. I'm all about the muted brown and earth tones. Look at
Brown
that.
snakes are the best snakes.
look at those eyes.
It's literally
The eyes of a psychopath.
it's a king brown with the head
I
of
like
a
it.
Transpecos.
Yeah.
It's a king brown snake with the head of a Transpecos. I like it.
Yeah. They're neat, man. They're one worth really putting some attention and time into, and I'm excited to work with them. But at the same time, kind of a little nervous, I guess. You know, I don't want to mess it up. They're really hard to come by.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
As far as Bajas go, I think I know 3 people breeding them. One guy has like 3 or 4 pairs, and none of them went this year.
Well, this year was an off year for
Phil,
breeding.
you know, I tried that monster mule, and it is actually very good.
Yes.
Yeah, Justin's gonna get some Subox here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I saw some today. They're all males.
That doesn't surprise me. You know, that's something the book talked about. Is that when you see them, like when people find them road cruising, like 8 times, 9 times out of 10, it's a male. Like female wildcats are very hard to find because females just really don't travel much.
Yeah. My female and my male are the same age from 2 different clutches. They're Davis Mountains locality, which is kind of the most common stuff, and mine just are specifically Wild Rose Pass. And they go back to Dusty Road stock. There's another guy who actually produced them. The female's probably 3 times the size of the male. She eats every time. She doesn't care what you do. She's placid. The male is just really nervous, doesn't always eat. And plus they eat small meals. One thing with the Bogertrophus is, and everything I've read, you don't want to feed them too big of a meal because they will immediately regurgitate. It's kind of just a thing about them.
It's just, man, that whole just group from that general area, man, it's like another planet.
Yeah.
Just
Cool.
John, my buddy John was over there not too terribly long, a couple weeks ago, and he found some emoryi over in West Texas that are really neat looking, really sharp, cool patterns.
How are those Texas rats doing?
They eat great.
Perfect.
They pound food. They do not want human interaction at all. Those are testy little critters. Actually, they're big. They're huge.
They look big from the pictures.
They're the male's over 5 foot. The female's probably a little under. From what I've heard, females stay a little smaller in that species, just from that group. Man, I didn't realize how far those things. Huge range on them. Huge range of tons of different colors. So they're going to be. I mean, but they settle right in. They're pooping normal. They're eating normal. Actually, they're eating very aggressively on frozen ball. So that's perfect, man. I'm gonna get them nice and strong and pull them off in October, which will be just about time out of quarantine, and then put them down with everybody else end of November and give them a shot.
That's awesome, man. That's a cool project. When you sent me those pictures, I was like, wow, these are really nice. You know, as far as wild types go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed with them.
I've seen a lot of Texas rats. There's some from Cadmium, Texas that are real pretty. But I've never found them in my county that pretty. But it just so happens this one little area, which is Farm Road 666 and Farm Road 624, which is Blunter, Texas. There's a little population of them. They have that super bright yellow, kind of like a yellow rat snake and a Baird's had a baby kind of thing.
Wow.
That's cool, man.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, I want to get some bucks. Like I said, if I see some at Daytona and they're not stupid expensive, I don't know.
They'll be there.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they're usually.
I'm afraid because I really just want a pair, and I'm afraid that if I get some, I'm instantly going to be like Baird's and be like, half my collection is going to be Baird's and Subox and.
And then you're gonna want different localities of them because they all look a little different. And then
see, I don't know. I really like the silvers. The silvers the most are what I like, and I like the blondes a lot. The ones you have. I just
a lot of white on them.
I'm really not super picky, but the silvers are just so cool because it's like a photo negative of a Subox.
Yeah, let's see here. The silvers are axanthic, and then the blondes are like that pattern hypo mutation. And then I think you can do a silver and a blonde together, and it makes some spectacular looking thing.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
So I don't know too much about them. What's the deal with them not being more available? It seems like the popularity's there.
They're not easy to breed, from what I understand. They're not like corn snakes where you just kind of cool them and throw them together. Like they do require a little more sort of finesse.
Eggs are a little tougher.
Yeah, and I mean just like the Baird's, small clutches, high demand, low supply.
And they never really do well from the wild if they're large. I guess that's one of the big things in the book, Dusty Rhodes' book. Wild collecting on them, you really want to try to find small animals.
And you want to give them a solid year plus to really get into the groove of captivity and stuff before you breed them.
Yep.
Well, that sounds like most wild caught stuff.
Similar to rock rattlesnakes in the same area.
Yeah.
And they're also care-wise, I feel like a lot of people will jump into them and kind of take them like Justin said, kind of like a corn snake, and you want to be a little lower on your temps. Well, I mean, I keep my corn snakes and those at the same temp, which is about 80 on the hot side, but tons of ventilation. They immediately run into issues if they don't have enough ventilation. Same thing as the Bajas.
That's what Chris was saying on the podcast the other night. All his Nerodia, he's like everything, just tons of ventilation.
Yeah, it's really important. You'll get into I'd say your emerys, most of your typical rat species, they don't really care. They're kind of bulletproof. Like my fox snakes and stuff like that. I feel like I could really do anything with them and never have a problem. But I mean, cell dogs are one of those species that will like immediately go off feed. You'll know right off the bat if something's not clicking on them, and because if you have them, you'll notice the kind of inquisitiveness of them. If they're acting, they're one of those snakes that if it's acting off, you'll kind of know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mentioning Daytona.
Yes, you had something you want.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys heard. So there was the official press release that I think, Billy, you showed me from Wayne Hill saying that whatever the state guidelines are is what the show will follow. Is, if the state's at 75% occupancy and they deem that, say, 3,000 people, is that 3,000 guests? Is that staff included, vendors included? And then the question is, obviously the hall is within the convention center, and they have big hallways that go throughout the convention center. Are people going? Is that 3,000 people for the building? 3,000
right.
people for the hall? Are people going to have to wait outside in the blistering August sun? So I actually was just bullshitting with Jay Eaton today, and because he's obviously vending, and he had mentioned that out of morbid curiosity, he called the hotel that we all stay at, the Hilton Resort on the beach, and just played dumb like he wasn't vending. And he's like, hey, I'm thinking about coming up that weekend because, I want to take my family to the beach, blah, blah, blah. Are the restaurants open? Are the bars open? And basically the hotel guest services said that almost every single bar and restaurant in town is closing up at like 10 o'clock at night, and they're only doing like 50% occupancy. And then all of the bars and restaurants inside the hotel, so the center bar, that Mexican restaurant, the cantina bar outside with like the patio furniture and everything, those are all closed. The buffet will be open, I think, for breakfast only. And then the restaurant will be open at night for like 3 hours. And that's the only place where you can buy booze. And then apparently that patio where we all sit and hang out with those chairs and tables and everything, gone.
What?
So hopefully they get their heads out of their butts and they let us do something, because there's going to be a lot of people standing outside that they're going to have to control, or going to be a lot of people in a lot of hotel rooms.
Well, I always bring my own stuff anyway. So
I was going to say, it sounds like a perfect excuse to bring your own.
But again, that's all good and great. We all bring our own booze anyway. That's not a big deal. But the fact that we can't sit out back and smoke our cigars and schmooze and mingle and drink with our cohorts from across the continent, that's going to be pretty poopy.
We just all bring towels and lay on the beach.
Yeah, right.
Stairs we can sit on.
Yeah.
Watch drunk guys fall down.
Or we can go room hopping.
Do that too.
This local show that was going on with the Herbst group, I didn't actually go to the show while it was open. I had given my table to another guy who had a lot of animals, so he could use 2 tables. And me and my brother just went to go help him set up. And we left before the show opened, but they had some very strict rules, even in like a convention center. Actually, it's at a fairgrounds. And all masks had to be on. If you took your mask off, you were kicked out immediately, no questions asked. It's $1,000 fine in my county right now.
Damn.
Wow.
So yeah, they were pretty strict about it. And talking to the people that vendored, it was pretty small. Nobody showed up as far as buyers, right? Like clientele. A lot of vendors showed up. That was cool to kind of go and visit with everybody, but nobody made any good sales on that side.
So Billy, how was Repticon today?
It was good.
Did you go?
I did go. I didn't get a chance to talk to Mike though. He was busy. But it was, so they put it in a different building, a bigger building, where they usually do the gun show, and everything's spread out. They do it in 2-hour blocks. So, like, if you wanted to go, you have to buy tickets on the website and say, okay, I'll get there right when it opens at 10. You can stay from 10 to 12, and then they shut it down for 20 minutes or so, and then the next block comes in. And then they do that until the show's over with.
Interesting.
Most of the vendors said that they did well yesterday during the first block, because that's when the serious people came. They knew they wanted to buy something. and they get there right when it opens, they go by, and then they're out. And the rest of the time, it's just casual people that just want to look around. Me personally, and I was talking about this earlier today, it was kind of the saddest Tampa show I've ever seen as far as what was there and stuff. I don't know if I'm just more and more getting away from the common stuff of seeing the same thing from the same guys every show. But, there's a couple cool things, but nothing too crazy.
What's up, Hen Dog?
All right. Well, at least people were going. At least vendors were going. Feeling.
Yeah, people were making money. It wasn't like a terrible thing. There were still people there. It's just
right.
Well, hearing that makes me wonder if Daytona will be a similar scenario where a lot of people don't go because they think that it's just not going to be worth going. I know, judging from the comments on the show's Facebook page, there's a lot of people that are planning on going, and seeing there's like a handful of people that are like, they wait for them to post so they can tell them how horrible they are for carrying on with the show. And
well, that's the internet.
If you want some entertainment, go look at the NRB Facebook page and look at some of the posts and comments in there, because it's just ridiculous. Like, people in Canada saying like, this is so wrong. This is so, it's like, what? Are you actually going? No. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's like, you have the choice. If you want to go, go. If you don't, you also have that choice too. It's not a big deal. I'm already expecting it to be, for me personally, not as successful as a show as the past years have been. But I look at it as it's either going to be on the lower end, or it's going to be everybody's been waiting to go to a show. This is the one they're waiting to go to, and it's going to be great. It's going to be one end of the spectrum or the other.
Yeah. I know people from here that are driving to Daytona. They do every year. So,
yeah,
you're not one of them.
Yeah, you're not one of them, Chris.
Nueces County is the #1 growing hotspot, I believe, in Texas for COVID cases.
So they say.
That sounds like you need to get out of there for a weekend.
Yeah. Right.
I kind of had planned on trying to go to Daytona or to Carpet Fest this year, and then obviously everything kind of got crapped on. But that's definitely something I want to push for next year, as well as our West Texas trip. Obviously we got to do that.
Yeah, we need to plan that. I was telling Jake about it the other night, and he was getting excited. We need to talk about that. I've been thinking about SCCF and sort of, because the planning stages will be here before we know it, before I know it.
2 weeks.
I was talking to Pia a little bit, and I don't know. We're kind of contemplating whether or not Southeast Carpet Fest should happen or not. I know it's very early to kind of say one way or the other, but
yeah,
like I said after the last time, like, if I end up being the one putting it together, it's going to be much more scaled back. It's going to be much more stress free. It's going to be much more.
That's usually in February, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be nearly as involved as it has been, so.
That's fine.
I'd love to go out there. That'd be super fun.
And I do wonder, though, because me and Pia talked about it as well. Like, I feel like since there's so many now and you do them on an annual basis, maybe having one that you do like every other year will get more people interested in going. Because, we have that happen to the cigar shop a lot. We do cigar events like every other month, and like they're so frequent that people are kind of like, oh, I won't go to that one. I'll just catch the next one. If you make it more of like a once a quarter thing, then the people are like, well, that's the time to load up. Like, this is the only time I'm going to get these deals. This is the only time I'm going to get this to happen. So I don't know. I just basically saying, like, don't be surprised if something happens with this next one and it gets digitized or however we do it, which I don't know how you would do it virtually, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I think it seems like so many things are just like, let's take this 1 week at a time or 1 month at a time.
And then there's the running joke of it'll all go away in November.
Yeah, probably towards the end of November. It might.
It might.
Either go away in November or stick around for a while.
November 5th, magically, there's a cure. They found one.
Yeah, or at least until January, right?
Yeah.
Probably closer to the truth than we really want to admit. It's kind of sad.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's frustrating because I'm a planner. Like, I like to have time-wise. I'm like a very organized person, so like I want to have. I already have the gears in motion as far as like Carpet Fest and trying to start thinking about what to do, where to do it, you know. But it's kind of frustrating that I can't really worry about that kind of stuff yet because, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. So.
Yeah,
sure.
How about this? How about the way my work schedule is, because I need to be at work a lot, especially on like Friday, Saturdays, like our busier days. I need to be there. And when I take a vacation, I can't just take like 2 days here, 2 days there. I have to take a full week. So because Daytona is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I have to take either the week prior or the week after. And for years past, I always took the week before, which hindsight is kind of dumb because I'm driving home from Daytona. I may have animals. I may be exhausted, and then I got to work Monday. So this year I was like, you know what? Let me do this right, and I'll take the week after. So I'm taking like Thursday to Thursday, if that makes sense. Well, that whole week after Daytona, I have planned to visit several friends far away and go to different places in the Southeast. One of which is going to be North Florida to visit my friend that I haven't seen in like 2 years because he moved because of work. Well, he called me 2 days ago and he's like, "You're not coming." And I was like, "Why?" And I'm thinking maybe like his wife had stuff to do because he's got a bunch of kids. Maybe kids had to go field trip. No. He got COVID.
Oh.
So his family is all tested negative. He's got 5 kids, all of them negative, but he's positive. So
no,
well.
Come see me, buddy.
What's that?
Just means you can make the extra like 2-hour drive and come hang out with me.
I won't lie. It has crossed my mind, like really crossed my mind.
You can help me unpack everything.
As long as you're good with an air mattress.
Like, I actually, the way that I'm doing it is I'm going to Daytona and then the Sunday night coming back to South Florida, dropping Matt and Jamie off, dropping all my animals off, stopping with my parents and make sure the dog's still alive. And then the next day I was going to start my road trip. So
you're just trying to be like Brent.
Not quite. I like to, yeah. So I may go and steal Billy and drag him to Buford for a couple days. Does
Billy know this?
Oh no.
Billy just found out this.
I was going to say, I feel like Billy has no idea this is the plan.
No, Anita's going to come over and she'll be like, "Good morning, honey," and then just like black.
It's just pillows.
Yeah,
you took them in the night. You with body pillows.
There's going to be a big black conversion van blasting Master of Puppets. It's screeching in the front yard. You know,
you tell anybody about this, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
I'll be like, Phil, you just had to ask me. I would have gotten a van.
Where, as far as Southeast Carpet Fest, where is that in relation to the state of Florida? Like,
it's North Florida. Yeah.
North Florida. Because Daytona is 18 hours for me, which it's like barely a drive.
Daytona was only like an hour and a half from Pete and Cody's place. So.
Yeah, that ain't shit.
They said it was like 2.5, but I got there in like an hour and a half, no problem.
If you're 18 hours to Daytona, it's probably 16 hours to P and Cody's.
Nice. Little short afternoon trip.
I mean,
sure. That's right.
I would consider it an afternoon trip.
Leave at 2 a.m. and you'll be there at a reasonable hour. We'll see you at lunch.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I really enjoy taking like egregious trips in a vehicle, just doing a one shot. I've always loved it my whole life. So, but also I'm in South Texas, so it's like everything is far away.
Yeah,
so it's funny, Mike, because Ryan Cox just started his Blackwater tank, and he set it up. He just sent us pictures today or yesterday. So what we should do is, in a little while, when things start to plateau in our conversation, we should steal Ryan Cox and force him to do aquatics and alcohol.
That's a good idea.
Fun fact. Sir Mike there wanted cigars. And who did he come to get his cigars?
Really?
Your boy done hooked him up. So
The man, the myth, the legend.
he's got all kinds of stuff coming to him. I'm going to ship them out tomorrow. So
Word up. Word up.
Right on.
Real quick shout out to Silent Hill Reptiles. It's JT. Dude,
Yep.
some of the best corn snakes in the United States I have ever seen produced by those guys.
boy, that's a hell of an endorsement. I like it.
All right. There you go.
You look at their what you call it? I have some of their caramel Miami line stuff, and if you ever look at their snakes, they have it's a honey diffused Miami phase. I think I have those more right. Its name's Hannibal. It's one of just the absolute most mind blowing animals I've ever seen. They really have spent a lot of time putting together a selectively bred group of snakes that are really nice.
Y'all like my JLB Morelia shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I do.
It's starting to like wear and stuff, and it actually looks really cool. Like the lettering and the actual like graphic is starting to kind of wear a little bit. It looks awesome. Like Jake was getting pissed about it. I was like, dude, it looks awesome. It looks better. Like it looks cool and like war torn and
Yeah.
I actually feel stupid because like I thought I was already following JT because I swear I liked the Trans Pecos picture from a couple days ago. Maybe it wasn't on his or their page, excuse me. I could have sworn I was following them, and I'm like, why am I? Because I was about to go like throw up a picture, and my apologies. Now I am.
Dude, can you pull up a picture from their Instagram? You should post, dude, this guy right there. I gotta find it.
Is that it?
oh my god. Yeah, I remember that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, dude. It looks broken. I love it. It's such a good animal.
Billy, do you remember those corns at Daytona last year at Whitebeard's table? You know the little ones? They look like little green berms almost, like green motley Burmese pythons.
Yeah, they look like green berms.
Phase that was so cool looking. I was really tempted to get one, but I was like, I don't need it. I need
I think it was a honey something. I remember that. It was something
I
honey.
think it was too.
It might be a honey diffused. They have a crazy pattern.
Look at that thing. Like
Yeah.
I have had some black house snakes. I have personally imported black house snakes that, to my knowledge, were smuggled out of Liberia into Benin to be exported, and they did not look that good. That is a damn good one.
That's a nice one. I was looking at that today.
Oh, there you go.
See, that's the picture Carly sent us the other day.
Yeah.
JT, in case you didn't know, we were talking about this very post in our little group chat the other day and how much drool I had to mop up.
And dude, look at the skid marks that go down that snake's neck. Like that's perfect skid marks. I
like it.
Burnout, baby. Straight burnout on black pavement.
Here, let me show you. I got my pickup from the show.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Fucking great.
It doesn't get better than granites.
I got some because we're nerding out on corn snakes here for a minute.
Scaleless are better.
I got some real quick, Justin, you know that Chris Montrose, when you were talking to him about those North Carolina Montane corn snakes?
Yeah.
I got a pair of them from him this year. Dude, them things are badass. They're like a quarter the size of a normal snake. They're tiny. They're absolutely like midget corns. They're tiny. They're really, really small.
What was that? The Miami phase that you talked about earlier? Which one was that?
From Silent Hill. Their caramel honey stock is all Miami phase.
Okay, I'm trying to find it right now.
I remember back in my day when my dad and I were breeding corns and stuff when I was a kid, man, he had some Miamis, and that's like he was big into Miamis and he was big into blood reds. Some of those ones he had, man, they were just.
Listen, I have caught more corn snakes in Dade County than I can honestly count, and I have never caught an animal that looked like that. Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's really pretty.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's got Miami lineage with the caramel recessive morph and the sun-kissed recessive morph in it. So sun-kissed is a yellow enhancer, and caramel, I believe, deletes the red.
That's super cool.
That has what I like about the old world stuff, where like the front half of the snake looks different from the back half. Mm-hmm. So it looks like you have multiple snakes going on there. That's really cool.
I got some European line stuff this weekend for my buddy Russell Southard. He produces a ton of awesome corns also. I think that's Hannibal right there in his picture.
No, we could have just brought that up.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Walter Smith makes some of the nicest corns of all time. Yeah. Like, that guy's out of this world. Dude, just unbelievable.
This is a I'm not gonna get it. It's hard to see. It's a blue motley. Fuck, that's like the worst. It's a gray and black snake.
Is that on Silent Hill?
No, this is one I got a pair this weekend from a buddy. It's Anery Motley, but it has a morph called Dilute, which kind of makes it look like it's in shed forever. And then as an adult, it starts getting a blue hue to it. They're really neat.
Man, I always love, like, Anery Motleys and Anery Stripes were always kind of my favorites. I don't know what it is about Anery corns, especially when they're young like that, where you just get that crazy contrast. And what's up, Brad? Also, I'll have y'all know, I'm writing notes so that in the description of the episodes now, I know what to put, because I had people who were like, are you going to put any descriptions in these videos? And I was like, well, that would require me to go back and listen to all of them.
I am specifically not doing that.
We cover a lot, so it was like, I'll just start writing it down, and then I'll bullet points so people know what we talk about.
All right, guys. So we're gonna have to convene together, because there's a few species we need to. Me and Billy have talked about this. Getting more species back in the hobby that used to be popular that nobody's working with anymore. So I got to get all my internet followers, and you guys help me find Pitchiophis lineaticalis, the Mexican lined pine snake. They don't exist. The one person that I found that breeds them. Didn't get any this year, didn't get any last year. So if you want to pull up a picture of one, it's lineaticalis, kind of a funky name. They're amazing, but they are impossible to find. The world needs more of them.
I'm looking for more radiated rats and trinket snakes.
Dude, trinket snakes are dope.
Trinkets.
Yeah, I had a pair, but Colignathus are well known for being heartbreakers. You know, they end up just rolling on you for no reason.
These are freaking wild.
That just didn't work out.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
What the fuck? Those are sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a subarc and a pit had a baby.
Yeah. Yep. I have spent so much time looking for these things for years.
That's wild. Billy, look at the stripes.
Oh, I see.
Supposedly they are literally easy peasy. People just don't like them because they're pissed off pine snakes. But I mean, so
what pine snake isn't?
Dude, my northern pines and my North Mexican pines are puppy dogs. I want
northerns. I know I've said this, but I want northerns. I want local northerns, though. I want South Carolina low country northerns.
There was some hatchling northerns. There were some hatchling northerns at the show today that were really pretty.
Dude, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they hatch out eating hoppers. Yeah, they hatch out eating hoppers.
Huge babies, yeah.
House snakes have always been on my list. I've heard those are fun little snakes. That'd be a fun little side project, just a pair.
I had a pair.
Yeah, it would be a fun side project. Yeah.
I picked some up for a friend. I had just a normal lined house snake, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one was T negative. Yeah, I think that's right. I only had them for a couple months because I was shipping them to a friend and we were waiting for temps to be right. And they're neat, man.
I've heard they're very
python-like
too. Like I've heard they're very much more like a python than they are a colubrid behavior.
They don't feel like a colubrid. boa python-ish. When they are going to eat, they wrap from their tip of their head to the tip of their tail all the way around the mouth. They are
like the king snake.
Extremely.
The king snake oil, yeah.
Like
They're super excited.
It's like macklets.
Macklets.
Phil, are you planning on getting anything at Daytona?
I have a laundry list.
Of course he is.
I have a laundry list of species, and normally I put my feelers out. You know, I get the feelers going. You know, and this year I didn't do that at all. Like last year, I had spent probably $900 before I ever showed up in the city. You know, like the money was spent. Just like, give me my animals. And this year, I didn't do that this year.
I like the not knowing thing. Like,
yeah,
will I find what I'm looking for? Will I not? You know.
So obviously, I want to get to if there's reasonably priced knobtails, I'm going to snatch them all up, and then some Underwood Saurus millii as well. And then obviously, I'm going to be on the hunt for some water python babies or juveniles. I also want to try and get see if anybody's got any binos or pictus. And Billy actually was kind enough to message me today saying that there was some pictus in Tampa, so they'll obviously be in Daytona, hopefully. But I really want to try and get binos for my feeder project.
Yeah.
And, everyone's going to get a frozen gecko as a stocking stuffer. And but I really have been fascinated with those giant Irian Jaya bento geckos.
Oh, dude.
And
those are cool.
Dude, Chris and I were talking about them a couple weeks ago, and like I saved a bunch of I followed a bunch of hashtags, and like throughout the day, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about those things. Oh, I gotta keep my eyes peeled.
Dude, if you ever see a Malaysian night stalker, which is also from that Cryptodactylus family, dude, they're so badass. There was many years ago when I was a young Padawan into all this, probably in the mid '90s, there was a Reptiles magazine edition that was alternatives to leopard geckos.
Really?
And and they had viper geckos, the little scorpion tail geckos, I believe, something else, and then they had the giant bentos, and I remember just wanting to know everything I could about. They are near impossible to find as far as I've seen. I don't think I've ever seen them for sale.
I did some digging, and excuse me. Apparently, people were bringing them in over the past like 6-7 years in numbers, and they were all like 5-6 inches long, but they're all imports. And so far, there's only like 3 or 4 people that are actually keeping them. But of those 3 or 4 people, almost all of them have bred them. So fingers crossed, you know.
They don't seem. If you kind of put the lizard calculator together, they're not real tough. You know, no heat. You know, medium to high humidity. Bug eaters. You can keep pairs together. You wouldn't see aggression. You know, it sounds like something that's perfect for the hobby. But I mean, look, even beyond awkward colubrid snakes and awkward pythons, look how far out of favor odd geckos have fallen. Right? Like you just don't see many people posting them or working with them, you know?
Right.
You know what I saw today for the first time in person that I was paying attention? I forget what they're called, but they're the Australian geckos that have the spiny tails, and they kind of have a granite pattern to them.
Stropuriophis ciliatus.
Dude, I want an article on those so bad.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I saw them in person today.
They're so cool.
First time ever. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
These things are so cool.
They're kind of big, right? They're a little longer than when I see them in pictures. Yeah, they're a little longer than I thought they were going to be when I saw one in person.
There's a guy in Europe.
Well, these were young ones. They were still about 4 inches. Yeah.
There's a guy in Europe that has a bunch of tanks where I don't know if he smuggled or imported the exact type of spinifex grass that they live on. When you look at it, the cage is empty. And then you like focus in, and there's like 15 of them, and one is on each blade of grass.
Oh shit!
Like they just line up with the grass like perfect. I'm trying to find this picture.
That's cool, man.
Miami phase corn that I caught last year, and I friggin' can't find, or not caught, but I saw. I can't find it, so just bear with me. But when I do.
Also on the roster of people who wanted cigars and ordered them via me was Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff was like, I want to get back in.
Right.
Send me some. And I was like, I got you. So now we just need to get Billy, and we'll be good.
It's good for you. According to the FDA, you can have 2 cigars daily, and you have 0.001% chance of increasing your likelihood of getting cancer. I mean, it's pretty much healthy at that point.
If you do 4 a day, then it's still not bad.
I'm doomed for cancer anyway, so that part doesn't scare me.
You can get it from anything anymore.
I'm supposed to do another triathlon in December, so I'll have to quit smoking anything else. But when I was doing triathlons, like 2 a year, I was still smoking cigars. Never had a problem.
Yeah, like if your risk is that low for 2 a day, I'm pretty sure 3 or 4 a day isn't gonna like automatically go from 0.0001 to 100%. You're gonna get something. You know?
I mean, and if it gets you relaxed and you're feeling good about it and you're enjoying it, it's healthy, right? Like men's mental health awareness. Let's get it going.
Tell you what, though, we got some CBD products at one of our shops, and I got some of the isolate gummies. Dude, I chew on like 3 of those before I go to bed, and I've never slept through the night so well than the past like 3 nights that I've been eating those.
Nice.
I mean, just
it's the cheat code.
Well, I ate some the other day. Y'all were in the group chat, and like I ate them when I was at work. I had some. I was like, yeah, I've had the full spectrum ones, and those didn't affect me nearly as much as these ones did. And, like, it was like I took a Benadryl, dude, and I drove across town to the other shop when we closed, which I really shouldn't have done, but I was feeling good, dude. I felt useless. I was just sitting in the chair at work like, I want to take a nap.
Nice.
Which is weird because the isolate doesn't have, it's literally just pure CBD. It's not, like the full spectrum is like CBD and its friends. Like it has some other things that help your body process it more effectively. But the isolate is just CBD. And so I was like, this shouldn't be anything like the full spectrum. And I was not expecting it to affect me the way it did. So now I just eat them before I go to bed. And boy, I sleep like a baby. It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Highly recommend.
I'm a big fan of Tylenol PM around 9 o'clock, and you just getting some crazy nightmares, baby. Who knows what's going to happen at 5 when I wake up. Yeah.
The dark figure in the corner is coming to get me again.
If I'm having anxiety or I just can't get to sleep, I take Tylenol PMs. It knocks me out quick, but dude, I freak out all night long.
I tried that Z-Quil once, and that was I came to find it's actually just Benadryl. It's the same thing as Benadryl. Z-Quil. So I thought that was kind of odd that they marketed
rebranded it
when it's not. It's diphenhydramine or whatever Benadryl is. The exact same thing. CBD gummies are expensive, but man, they're worth it. Hopefully, it won't wear off. What a nice blurry.
Wow.
So, what's that?
So what a gorgeous blurry picture.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was a cell phone, and it was dusk, and it was in Miami. All right.
That's a good picture, Phil. I like it.
Looks great, man. I like the backdrop too.
Yeah.
So that snake was just shy of 6 foot.
Wow.
Which is giant for Dade County, in my opinion.
That's huge.
I mean, those two, that like a rock right next to it, that's probably like a 5 or 6 inch rock.
Wow.
But it was one of those things where it's like you had to take a picture, you had to play with it, but like it was just too majestic. I literally put him exactly where he was and kind of let him figure out where he wanted to go. And then when I realized he was actually crossing the road, I just put him on the other side of the road.
Nice.
And to be honest, I assumed it was a male just because of how fat his tail was, which in my opinion would be the biggest male ever seen in history.
It's a big corn snake.
That's a big old.
Yeah, that's huge.
For the record, CBD has next to no THC in it. At least the full spectrum. The isolate has none. I don't do drugs. I'm high on life.
My man. Did Jake get you those cigars?
He did.
My man.
Dude.
Got something for you and Phil.
I looked at Jake. I was like, how's he going to send these to me now and expect me to not smoke them before Daytona?
For Daytona?
Phil ain't get one. It's like, shit.
So could you bring new Novas?
I mean,
those are the Don Boscos, right?
Yeah.
Pythons and pharmaceuticals.
I saw you put it up, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" And then it clicked. It's late. I'm tired.
Because that's the double wrapper, right? It's got the candela and the broadleaf. Yeah.
Yeah. The
boy,
Black Irish.
I'm so freaking ready.
Black Irish. Yeah, they're tasty, dude. They're real good.
You know, I got a box a couple weeks ago, and I put it in my travel case and put it back in my closet on the top shelf, and tried to forget about it because I know I will break and be like, I don't have any cigars right now, but I have that case, and then I'll smoke them all. By the time it gets to Daytona, I won't have any. And so I've been like very good about not touching them, and I added those into that box just so I wouldn't have to look at them every day and be tempted.
It's good.
Yeah, my man Phil's got to have one. I don't know how many they made. I ended up with 6 of them. I bought a 5-pack and a single, but they were sold out, I think, in a couple hours.
I believe it.
But I got one. I smoked one when I got them. I smoked one here on the show, and then I saved one for a year out. So I'll try it a year. Which hopefully that's when the next set will come out and I can maybe compare them. And then gave one to my brother and then 2 to y'all. And I still got that saber tooth, dude. I need a reason to crack open that saber tooth.
I'm horrible about sitting on cigars and like aging them. I can't. I've tried. I can't do it, man.
I probably only smoke maybe 4 or 5 a week. So
Rookie.
I just don't. It's almost like a time thing sometimes.
It is. It's totally a time thing for me. I mean, like I come home from work. It's by the time I am done doing errands after work, or if I stay late at work, it's 8:30 at night, and I'm beat. And like I should like sit out and just relax and chill, and I'm not. Like I gotta check my CB70 racks to make sure no one's dying of ammonia poisoning, and I gotta make sure my dog didn't eat my underwear, the hamper again, and like I don't want to fucking like.
Yeah. My man, Aquatine. Where's the
Dude, this size.
You gonna smoke the Aquatine?
The Aquatine and the Anthropology, which is just like a Corona, is one of the best cigars they make. Like this blend in this size is just off the chain good.
You know, Meanwhile said that he loved Aquatine.
I got the one you sent me. I was gonna smoke it. Yeah. Dude, you know the cigar that I've been like about. And I don't know if it gets good ratings or whatever. I don't really like Maduros. I've never been a Maduro guy. And the Christoph Original Maduro.
I think I've had those. They're not bad. Yeah,
pretty good. Dude, it's a great stick, and it's not it's not massively expensive. I had a Churchill and really liked it, but it was like a 2-hour smoke. And then I had it in the Robusto size, and I was like perfect. And I just bought half a box. I just bought 10 of them.
That Churchill was like 62 by 70 or 60 by 70?
Something like that. I thought it was like 54 by 7.2 or something.
Oh wow!
It was. Yeah, I can Google it real quick. It's a big stick, man.
Yeah, somebody gave me a couple of those with some of those gigantic Gurkhas. I don't even know like what the Gurkha was, but you know those giant ones in the wax coated tubes. They gave me because they didn't fit in their humidor, and they just didn't fit, And I was like, of course I'll take them. And I was kind of like, all right, and I smoked it, and that thing was tip top, man.
Was it the rum infused one?
The Christoph?
Oh no, the Gurkha. Did you say there was a Gurkha in the tube?
No, yeah, but the Gurkha was garbage. But the Christoph was the point of the story.
Oh, I got you.
The Christoph Churchill is a 50 by 7.
50 by 7. Okay, wow. All right. I remember it being bigger. I have tiny hands.
Yeah, I was like, I have these ridiculous ogre hands.
It's like that. It's like that thing from Burger King. Damn these tiny hands. So
I'm always a fan of these though. Great little sticks. The Hoyo de Nicaragua.
I did not
Antonio 1970s.
They're good, man. They're good.
The Dark Corojo and the Connecticut is fantastic. The Dark Corojo is probably one of my all-time favorites, but we never get them in for whatever reason. But that one I tried, and I was.
You didn't like the 1970?
I wasn't into it.
Dude, that's a great stick.
Yeah, try another one, man. They're great.
So I keep forgetting to ask Billy, but it's because Billy is in Tampa. There's a company called Sosa. I don't even know if they're in business anymore. You guys ever have a Sosa?
No.
They were like an Ybor. They were like an Ybor City local cigar company, whatever. And they, I wound up buying. They made like these little Clint Eastwood, spaghetti western like quick sweets.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a bunch of those little quick sweets, and I used to like smoke them at work, like smoke with Strictly, like in the Venomous room, the little fucking quick sweet. And they have these. I guess they were like a. What do you got? Like a mini Toro, I guess. It was weird. It almost looked like a flying pig, but they were so fucking slow. Like the slowest. Like it was only like this big, but it was like an hour and a half smoke, easy.
Wow.
And it just lingered, almost like a fuse on a bomb. Like it just lingered. They're so good, and nobody around here stocks them anymore, which makes me think the company's out of business. But.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Is your shop getting any better there, Phil?
No, it's exactly the same. Yeah. I mean, they keep buying Jericho Hill, which is good, but other than that, man, it looks anemic. Like, yes, it looks cleaner. All right. I feel like you could either have a shop humidor that's busting at the gills, or you can have one that's very elegant and crisp and clean and neat. Like very organized, very OCD. But the problem is the guy's trying to make it OCD, but it looks anemic. It looks like they don't have anything. That's why I asked them.
Yeah.
I was like, are you guys like have like a COVID out of stock thing? She's like, no, the new guy just wants to keep it lean. I'm like, lean? This isn't lean. This is a bad liposuction job.
Yeah. My local store, I had some problems at first, kind of when I started getting into smoking cigars. They're not kind of like new kid friendly, I guess.
A lot of shops are like that.
It was a really weird first experience going into a cigar shop.
That's a big deal. Like if you're gonna have a shop, you have it's already overwhelming for a lot of people getting into it because it's a lot like wine.
Yeah. Well, once I kind of became a regular though, I kind of realized they have a really good inventory. Mm-hmm. And they were so happy to get me anything that I wanted. They would buy a box of something if I wanted to try one.
That's cool.
They're just happy to do it. So I've still, in a year and a half, maybe about a year and a half of like smoking, being a cigar smoker, I've still never sat down in a cigar shop and smoked a cigar. I just never done it.
It's weird.
I need to. I went to the Fink in.
It's one of the last batches of civil conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it called the Wicked Fink? Something. It's in San Antonio, Texas, and it was probably the most amazing cigar shop I've ever seen. But I was with my wife and kid, and I just ran inside, and that place was like, dude, they had a huge collection of craft tea, hot tea, that they would pair with your cigar.
That's cool.
So, dude, the guy was like, hey man, you want some tea with your cigar? You sit on the patio, and I was like, I sure fucking do, but I'm not gonna do that. But the guy was real knowledgeable, walked me through. It was a massive, 2,000 square foot humidor. It was huge. Wow. I mean, the biggest humidor I could even imagine.
It's bigger than my freaking house.
Yeah, that's a big humidor.
Dude, it was really, really nice, really impressive. If we come to Corpus and leave to West Texas, so that's a 6 to 8 hour drive depending on where we want to go in West Texas. If y'all come here. Your other option is to go to El Paso and rent a car, and then that's a 4 hour drive or a 6 hour drive because that's coming from kind of the other direction. And that again just depends on where you want to go. But if we could, depending on time of day, we could stop in San Antonio and check out the humidor. It's neat, man. It's really nice.
Where's Austin compared to you? Is that?
So Austin is about 4 hours from me. It's kind of right in the middle of the state. If you go through San Antonio to get on I-10, which is going to get you west. But if you go to San Antonio, it's about an hour and a half. North. San Antonio is 2 hours from here.
Go to the Roma headquarters.
That is badass. I went before I ever smoked cigars, so I didn't really get it. I just went with a buddy that was up there. It's a neat place.
That's cool. I can totally get what you're saying though about like you never sat in a cigar bar and like just like smoked a cigar in a cigar bar because I've gone several times by myself just because I was like bored and I was like, oh, I'll go grab a drink and mingle with somebody.
Yeah.
And there's times when like, all right, so mean, I'm kind of spoiled because like the wait staff is the girls there are pretty awesome with me. They know me, so like, it's not that they know me. It's not that I'm a regular, but my friend, a chick who used to work for Underground, she's one of the bartenders there. So she
cool.
Them, hey, he's not just this creepy fat guy at the bar. Like you can talk to him, he's a good dude. So like because of that, they were more sociable with me, which is awesome. But I honestly, had I not had that, I don't want to say relationship, had I not had that like stepping foot in the door, it would kind of like it would be awkward just sitting there by not knowing anybody, not talking to anybody. I get that.
I'm gonna talk to somebody and because I'm that guy, right? Like if I'm sitting somewhere, if I'm in like the line at the grocery store, I'm like, hey, how are y'all doing today? And it's that Southern hospitality.
Yeah,
but our we only have one cigar shop, and it does have a little area in the back. I've never even been back there to see it. I don't know. There's always guys back there. And I'm just peek back, and I'm just like, oh, those guys are not me. So I'm gonna go.
You gotta just walk back and be like, yo, what's up, Bob? How's it going? And if
get out there,
goes like, hey man, what's up? That's your venue.
Every time you go in, it's a different name until you hit one.
Of course.
Dude, yes. Go back there, snip me aroma, and just be like, what's up, bitches? Let's talk about snakes.
Bill? No Bill today? All right, see y'all later.
I will see you on the next Wednesday, my friends.
Right.
That's good. So Billy, did you pick up anything at the show when you went?
Got some hemostats.
Hey.
Nice.
Always good.
Oh, wait. Show those again. Show the head of those.
Yeah, I got the curved ones.
Excellent. Where's the pivot? Oh, that's long. Wow.
They're 16 inches.
That's beautiful.
So
nice.
Perfect.
I prefer the curved ones now.
And it's funny.
So I saw the bigger ones. So I was like, let me go for it.
So 16 inches is, in my personal opinion, the perfect length. Because when you get to like an 18 or a 20,
They get heavy.
you lose control. You lose mobility. And part of my whole Mr. Miyagi, what do you call it, technique thing is having tool control, right? And tool technique, and like having the right fingers in the right position. And it doesn't matter anything over like 18 inches, you can't control.
So this is the only curved one I do have.
Okay.
I don't know if they're short, but you can see the difference.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those 16s look way better. And
that little one looks like Danger Zone for sure.
And
I use it for hatchlings and stuff.
Henry has a theory about curved hemostats in terms of like snakes that target a prey item specifically, because a lot of the species that like him and I keep, they are always hitting the metal.
That's why I'm getting more curved ones, because my straight ones, they'll hit the rat, but they'll also hit the hemostats. And when you hear their teeth hit those hemostats,
oh yeah,
it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Happens with the chondros all the time.
Yeah, I've noticed with those little ones, I'm not getting that as much with the babies, so I'm going to try it with the bigger snakes. And
well, now I know, Justin, you and I have talked about it before, but like where like let's say this is the rat, and like here's the head and here's the tail, you try and grab this area so that you have all of this area that can be bitten, right? But the problem is that the rat is deceased and it's wet from being thawed out, or it's saggy. So your hemostats are more like here, right? And now all of a sudden the snake's coming and it's getting this motion where it's hitting one side of the hemostat. You know what I mean? I feel like those curved ones, you can kind of get it at an angle with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like a lazy piece of shit. I have all these little tiny Dixie paper plates, and I just set all my mice on those plates.
I do that with the rat snakes a lot. I do that with the bears and the corns.
Okay, but Chris, you can take your hand with the paper plate and you can put the paper plate in the container, right?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah,
dude, I'm like, I slide it open and I drop it in and I'm boop, and then I slide the next one open. Boop.
I mean, Phil, you can.
No, I cannot.
You just choose not to.
You know what I have done before? I have taken the paper plate and I put the food on there linear rolled the plate like a taco, and then used hemostat to grab the tip top of the taco, like the folded part here, and lifted the whole paper taco and placed it in the container like that.
Well, also, good point. My snakes, if they bite me, won't kill me. So it's something to think about.
It is. It is.
The only snake I gotta dangle a mouse on is my female black pine likes to see some wiggle in her food before she goes after it and then loses her fucking mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought about doing that.
And Mike, it's crazy because Henry and I have done the same thing because so a particular individual that we all know and respect highly happened to breed a species of venomous snake in mass quantity and wound up wholesaling them out to particular wholesalers. Well, those snakes are very small and they're completely and utterly psychotic, and they do not ride a hook worth a shit. So we took hemostats and dipped them in liquid silicone so that they were like rubber coated, and then literally used them like
they couldn't move,
grabbers, and would just pick up the psycho noodle, put it in the next container, and that's what Henry and I did for 7 months when we had them.
Oh, dude, I gotta cut feed my my Mexican hognose have to be cut fed. They literally will not eat, and I pick them up with tweezers because they're little shits, dude. I'll hold them, but if it's feeding time, I just yeah, it's a blast. But so fun story about feeding snakes. My Kankakee female, who I didn't breed last year because I was like, you know what, she's 3 years old, totally able to breed. Male was a little small, but I was like, I'm gonna give her 1 more year. She is going to be perfect. I'm gonna get the perfect clutch out of these Kankakees. I raised them since little baby noodles. This stupid snake, dude. She decided about 2 months ago that she was done eating. I mean, she's 5.5 foot. She's plenty big enough for a Kankakee, and she was just done. She's not gonna eat a fucking rat, mouse. I do chicks. I've done tilapia. She ate everything off of a plate for years, and she was done. So I tried everything. I honest truth, ended up doing some assist rat tails just to make sure there was something in her system. And I wanted to see what her poop was looking like too, to make sure she didn't have some internal worms or something like that, or not pesticides, whatever, internal issues, right? Yeah. I want to make sure she's at least pooping normal, and she was.
GI stuff.
What's that?
Just checking the GI.
Yeah, just making sure that everything's coming out normal and that she is pooping, right? Crypto is a thing. Make sure that stuff's coming out that end, not the mouth. Well, a buddy was like, okay, we'll try her on live. I was like, dude, I have had her since she was a baby. She's never had a live mouth. She won't. That's not her thing. Dude, feeding bull snakes live mice, she destroyed a big old retired breeder. Watching a bull snake eat a live mouse is not good. It is not a pleasant thing. They're not natural, man. What's that?
They pin them, right? And then just take them down while they're still alive.
They pin them and then just start eating them. It doesn't matter what side they got. If it's in the middle, they just start eating from the middle. It's so disgusting.
Just like a dry.
It's like Stogies, yeah.
There's something about that that's just it's tough to watch. It's tough to watch. And I wanted to make sure that she killed the mouse and didn't bite her or anything. So now she's been pretty consistent on live, which she still won't take Rosenthal, but whatever. If that's what it's going to take, it's what it's going to take for her. I don't know if I'm going to breed her now, just because the fattening her up after brumation, just worried. We'll see how she does. I'd love to make more Kankakees, but I'm not going to risk the animal at all.
Lisa is totally right. They just grab it wherever they can and just pin it against the wall in the tortoise burrow or the armadillo burrow or whatever.
Yeah. And if they start eating it when it's still moving, it doesn't matter. They just, as long as they've got it going in, they're going in.
At least once a week, when I go to underground to get rodents, I'll get a handful of ex-breeders, and I'll have them, fresh kill them there for the Texas Indigos. And I tell them flat out, I'm like, don't give me fat ones, because they're ex-breeders, but shit happens, and I've seen way too many just crush that adult ex-breeder and babies pop out.
It's like a pinata.
It's like a pinata, and it's it's not as bad as it sounds because the indigo continues to eat the babies as well, so it's not that big a deal. But
party favors.
It's still it's a pinata. That analogy, Jesus Christ.
But I mean, at least you have little pinkies to feed to some of your other snakes. You're good to go.
I can't go in there. Are you kidding me?
True.
Texas Indigo picking up them little party favors, man. He'll pick off my hand.
I'm getting those Jansenite Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exciting, man.
You all set up?
Yeah.
Well, I have the tubs right here, but this one, so I went to Walmart today, and I guess they're discontinuing these big 200 quart ones that I've been using. But I found one of those black ones with the yellow lids that's on wheels. That's like 180 quart. So that's in my car. I'm going to probably put that together tomorrow.
You're going to portal it?
Huh?
You're going to portal it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
The other one already has one on it because that had condors in it at one point. So
get those set up. Who are you getting those through, or are you not saying?
That's I'll tell you when we're done. How about that?
Cool. Yeah.
Classified.
You got pictures of them you share?
Huh?
You have pictures of them you could share with our friends?
I have like one of the female, I think. Let me see.
We'll see them when they're set up.
We'll see them when you get them.
Yeah.
It's going to do it anyway.
Do it. And Billy, while he's doing that, why don't you tell us everything about your bird eating snakes that you have?
Yes. Well, real quick before you do, congratulations, Dan, on your incoming ball python.
Nice.
Right on.
But yeah,
ball pythons, they're great.
I want to hear about the bird eaters because I think those things are awesome.
All right. Well, Phil, you've seen it. So.
Well, no, I saw it like relaxed and chill and like calm.
He does it display. I've never had him display on me.
That's good. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy about it. So Facilinotus are South American mid-sized colubrids. You all saw the picture that I shared of them. That's how they look when they're hatchlings. They go through about 3 or 4 color changes throughout life.
That's right, so
they'll look like that, and then pretty much it seems like whatever habitat they inhabit at that stage in their life, that's what they're going to, their color's going to be.
Wow.
So they go from the color they are now, where they kind of have this viper look to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they mimic eyelash vipers, the brown phase. They mimic those guys, and then they turn into like a stick brown looking thing where they're kind of higher up in the canopy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll end up turning into whatever color they can be. They're super variable, kind of like Amazon tree boas that are in the same range. So they could be red and gray, yellow and orange, any combination of both. They're known for being really hard to get going as babies, feeding on rodents. You do have to assist feed them. It's just one of those things you have to do.
Yeah.
I noticed I had them in a tub when I first got them, and I assist fed them, and things were going good, but not as good as want them to go. Yeah, there you go. I set them up in a 16 by 16 by 20 cage, put some live plants in there, some perches, and within a week, he ended up taking frozen thawed day-old quail and frozen thawed fuzzies off of tongs, like
nice,
with no issues. So now I'm just trying to get some size on them. So they're kind of in the same realm as Spilotes, where they're really not a rack species. You really need to give them some space, and I think the perches and live plants really did a good thing for these snakes to get them more comfortable and apt to eat,
Well, you know what that means. That's like a prime example of there is no cookie cutter method to keeping some things.
Yeah.
No.
Just because one setup will work for something else doesn't mean it's going to work for,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can ask these guys, Chris, when every time the snake eats, I pretty much send a picture to the group that we're in,
Yeah.
I was so excited, because I'm like, I still can't believe he's taking food off of tongs that early in life, because you'll see people with snakes that are twice the size as mine. They still have to hold them in their hand and tease feed them and stuff.
Yeah.
And I haven't had to do that for 5-6 months now with them.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And Billy
is, it may be the comfort of the animal in that enclosure. It
Sure.
feels like it's hunting. It feels like it's protected.
I was gonna say, as much as I love the crazy colored ones, I like Billy's because they're like legit earth tone jungle camouflage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna turn into a crazy colored one.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, they change colors through. So in another year, he's gonna look completely different.
Oh.
And then a year after that, he could be bright red. He could be bright yellow. He could be gray. Who knows what he's gonna turn into.
That's
wow.
Awesome. I thought yours were old enough that's where he was going to be. Like,
no, he's still in his hatchling colors. He's still going to change another couple times on me.
Oh, that's all. So wait, so how big did they get?
You're looking around 5-6 foot.
They're like a lot of the O3 Opus. They're kind of in that size range, maybe a little smaller.
Yeah. And what's another thing that's cool about them is that the males, when they mature, the males have keeled scales on their back. The females don't. So you can visually sex them when they're adults.
Wow. So they're sexually dimorphic once they reach sexual maturity.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, so doing Tinley with Jason, I was like, son of a bitch, man. I'm like, I'm going to end up getting these from you. And he's like, I know. And sure as shit, so.
Nice.
But they're fun snakes, man. Phil, you saw them, and you saw us messing with them a little bit, and they're just cool snakes.
Awesome species.
That's super cool, yeah.
And
dude, yeah, I'm pumped you're working with them.
Ganyusoma has always been something I've personally always really liked. I've had the red-tailed green rats a few times. I think they are, as far as snakes I've kept, the coolest snakes to observe in their enclosures and research about, see how they interact with everything. They're just really cool snakes. So when Justin said he was getting the Jansen eye, I think I was either just as excited or more excited than him getting them.
That's cool. Yeah, it's like, I know that I can't work with everything, but if I have friends that are working with things that I know I like, it gets me really pumped.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We love to live vicariously through our friends, It's part of the awesomeness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those bird eater, those are strictly from TNT, right?
TNT?
Trinidad and Tobago?
South America. I forget exactly where in South America they are.
I got to record this memory.
What's funny is that they go through their chain. So people would get them as imports as babies in their baby colors. And then their next phase is a really ugly, they just look like a stick. They're real brown and cryptic looking. So people will sell them. They're like, man, the stupid snake turned into that, because most snakes only do one color change.
Yeah.
And if they just would hang on to them another 6 months or so, they would see that they would turn into these really bright, almost Amazon tree boa looking colored snakes.
That's cool. That's such a neat thing.
And he's not really when you look him up on Google, 90% of the time you see him in a defensive posture and gaping at you and all that. I've never had him do that to me. Like, I've had him flatten his head and be like, okay, like, I'm not digging this, but I've never had him go at me yet. Like, I'm sure it's coming, but all the adults Jason had, you could just reach in and grab them. They were fine,
Just chill.
Yeah, so they're not all crazy like, most larger colubrids are. So
yeah, it's kind of funny. The bigger the colubrid, the usually crazier they are. My cave dwellers, I have one that they're from the same clutch. One of them is just the most tame little wiggly snake ever. And if I'm going to feed it, I just put a little pink in its hide, and it'll eat it within a few minutes. The other one, if you touch it, it has a tiny little baby, and it does its little open gate, side head flattened out. And I'm just like, this is the coolest shit in the world. So when I feed that one won't eat just put in a tide or anything. It won't. I tried cupping it because that's always just an easy method. Didn't like it.
Yeah.
That one I actually just hold it in my hand, let it do its little defensive posture, and then hold the pink and kind of move it towards its open mouth. And then the second it's in its mouth, dude, that thing's eating. It will sit there, swallow the whole thing in my hand, no questions asked.
Those little Christmas mountain alternate I have, if I put my hand it's the male. If I put my finger in front of the tub like that, he starts like those little Christmas mountains, man. They're little beasts. They're like the most feisty alternative I've ever had.
Alterna are really good eating snakes. All the ones I have, eating. Once they're eating. The ones I had as a younger herper, I always bought ones that weren't eating from people because they'd sell them for $20 or $15 or something. And then I'd spend my time trying to get it eating. That's how I learned how to assist feed. I mean, give them a few tails. You know what I mean? Get some food in their stomach, get that metabolism going, and sometimes that just kicks them off. And then all your different scents that you can use. We have local toads and lizards and tuna. Campbell's chicken noodle soup works amazing. Man, once Alterna are going, they're unstoppable. Those things are amazing.
Chris, what was the species you were talking about when I came back out that was troublesome for you when you were talking about the finger?
Oh, my cave dwellers that I got about a month ago.
So how big are they?
Mine are, I got them. They weren't even eating yet.
Okay. Have you tried the brown paper bag trick?
No, I have not. I have not brown paper bagged them.
You got to brown bag it, bro. I'm telling you.
One of them is eating. I mean, literally, put a pink in a tide. It's done. It's going to gobble it down. The other one, now that I've got it doing the little hand method, I'm one of those people that's like, did this work? Okay, go with that. Did this work? Okay, go with that. If that doesn't work, we go to this. I have like a string of things. I still have one shit bag little corn snake that's not eating. Corn snakes are the easiest snakes to get going in the hobby. It kind of seems like outside of Pitiophas probably, and I guess IJs it sounds like.
Speak for yourself. Yeah, worth of shit.
Yeah.
Some of us have better luck than others.
Yeah, all of my IJs collectively have probably eaten, I don't know, maybe 6 times in the year and a half I've had them.
Wow.
And eating something that's like an appetizer.
Dude, yeah, exactly. And then even if you microwave some water, you boil some water, and if you're boiling pinks, that's a really good way to get some colubrids going. You can use that water to make tea when you're done. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, why waste good hot water?
Just because you can doesn't mean you should, Chris.
Yeah, that is very true.
I have a bag of juice from chicken noodle soup in my freezer at all times. It works for some colubrids. I don't know what it is. Some of them won't go for the tuna. Yeah, dude. My Mexican hognose, both of the ones that started eating right off the bat, I bought those after their first shed. I had the guy ship them to me. I didn't want him to try feeding them or anything. 2 of them started going. I assist fed tails for probably the first 2 or 3 weeks. Just because I kind of knew that I wanted to get their metabolism going. Sometimes it just kicks it off. And if you're feeding them a small enough tail, it I don't know. I guess some people would say that it's putting a lot of stress on the animal, but they're evil little tiny cobra wannabes. They're pissed off anyways. I walk in my room, you hear them immediately. So throw a mouse down their throat, or a tail down their throat. But 2 of them started going on chicken noodle soup above toad scenting, which everybody said toad scenting would be the thing. Above lizard scenting, gecko egg remnants. I'll use. You can put a little piece of gecko egg, and some babies will get going. But chicken noodle soup kicked them off, man. You just thaw out your pinks, put them in a little frozen bag of chicken noodle soup, let them roll around in there a little bit, and they're good to go.
It's the sodium. They love it.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
I found baby alternative to be harder than chondros by a long shot.
I think as far as
possible, but
as far as snakes that are very popular in the hobby, I mean, Alterna are crazy popular. They are probably one of the hardest to get going. They've got to be.
I mean, once I had that, my dad got that fence lizard from that guy. When he got that pair of Christmas Mountains, the guy sent him some fence lizards, and I think he sent him some species of anal or something, maybe the browns or something. But
Anals.
Animals didn't work, but man, that fence lizard, just a frozen one. Just put the pinkies in there. I shook it up a little bit, rubbed it on there a good bit. It was like the chick down with the chondros. It just instantly knew exactly what they were doing. And
it's what
for now, it's one of those things too. Like if my next chondro clutch, if it ever happens, like I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm not gonna bother trying to get them on unscented. They're getting chick down straight off the bat because why waste time? Like there's some people that like they pride themselves on not having to scent, and I'm like, you can have fun wasting your time for bragging rights that no one cares about, but
yeah.
Eating is eating.
That's right.
If it works, it works. I'm a big fan, and I kind of try to think to myself about maybe not every animal has to be on mice, but damn, it's convenient, right? Like,
of course,
I'll do fish. I'll do chicks. I really like to give my Pithiopus chicks. They love them. They just delete them. Their shit is terrible afterwards. If you don't want to deal with that, don't do it. It comes out liquid and yellow. But yeah, it's alternate are funky because in the wild, if you find an adult, they will almost always, I'd say 99% of the time, take frozen thaw mice without a question. The adults are usually
it's an ontogenetic shift. Just like chondros, when they're small, they're eating a specialized diet, quote unquote, and it's usually, I'm sure, frogs and lizards. Even though I tried tadpoles with the babies, that got me nowhere. We tried.
Call them up. Tell them. I'm tired of this shit. I don't care how fucking good your cigars are.
Yeah, I tried tadpoles. I tried tuna, like canned tuna. I tried canned chicken, like just the juice. Got nowhere. Tried green animals, which we have here. Nothing. Like I said, that fence lizard dude they went crazy. Almost all of them. Like, nice. I mean, we're talking about there was like 12 or so babies, probably a little more. Scented, like maybe 2 of them didn't take.
I am on a mission. We have, in my illustrious opinion, the most beautiful checkered garters in the world down here. They're gorgeous. The brightest red eyes, the sharpest yellow on the stripe, the most pristine checkers, and I catch them all the time. I catch them on my backyard. It's so cool. And I am still trying to get one that I can get young and get eating in fucking captivity. I've tried 7 or 8 of them within the last year. I've tried fish, I've tried chick, I've tried mice, I've tried live mice. Dude, I cannot get checkered garters out of the wild. I want to get a little group going. I want to breed them. I know that's not a super cool animal, and not everybody's into garter snakes. But I'd love to do it once, and maybe even have a little community of them set up in a nice naturalistic bioactive. But dude, I cannot get checkered garters going. I've talked to a few people about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, they're easy. Just try some tuna scenting or do this." I don't know. I got bad luck.
Chondros are idiots.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. My roommate did garter, garter blues, and then northerns and red-sideds, and he had a lot of them die. Unfortunately, babies specifically, because he had silver sides, and we didn't realize that they are preserved in salt.
Oh yeah.
And the sodium level is literally off the charts because it's meant to feed saltwater fish. They're not meant to be fed to a terrestrial, inland snake. So he was feeding them silver sides, and they were dying. And it was like, why? It's because they're overly dehydrated. I mean, it sucks to learn that way, but like now I know, like, don't ever feed silver sides to a reptile. It's just not worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's a damn good point. Because yes, you go to the saltwater fish store,
right?
Which we have like 7 of in Corpus, yet no pet stores. But whatever.
Crazy.
If I had a pet store that had live mice, it'd be amazing. I can't breed mice because I'm allergic to them, and I don't have any consistent live mice connections in my city. But it is what it is. It's just kind of a struggle sometimes. But
are you guys talking about fish? for snake?
No, we were just talking about garters and how, my roommate had some bad luck because of the silver sides are meant to feed saltwater fish. They're frozen, and they're just so high in salt. They're preserved in salt and then frozen because you're feeding it to a saltwater fish. It doesn't matter how salty it is. It's salt water. But when you feed it to a garter snake, its sodium levels are off the chart. The you were talking about the feeding chicks and birds and stuff. So like I got the dog tooth now, and dude, like he's acclimating really, really well. And I'm just feeding chicks because that's what he wants to eat. He's gonna eat them. So I'm not gonna even try and feed him mice anymore. I figure I'll throw like a frozen thawed hopper in there after maybe 4 or 5 months. Yeah, there you go, Mike. But I was gonna ask Justin, the cyanea, when you feed them, because you vary their diet, right?
I tried to. I offered a chick to both the male and the female, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" Which I thought was kind of ironic because they're like supposed to be the most not picky snakes ever.
When they poo from the chicks, is it discolored and is it weirdly shaped?
They never ate them.
Okay.
They flat out refused them like they did. They just tried to kill me and didn't.
Okay. Because, like, this thing is a poop machine, first of all. Fucking colubas. But the poo is like a burgundy color. And it almost looks like it's not fully digested. Like, it doesn't, like, it looks like it didn't absorb all the nutrients that it should have. But it's doing it a lot, so like I'm not worried.
Is it only from? Are you only feeding birds right now?
Yeah.
And what snake is this?
Try a rodent and see how it looks after that.
Well, so when I first imported it, I stuffed him in a blacked out vision cage that was way too small for him, just to get him to like chill out. And what I was doing is I was putting in live fuzzy mice. I put like 3 or 4 live fuzzy mice, and then like 3 days later they were gone. And then it stopped eating them, and I found the mice just dead in there. So Henry actually was like, all right, well, let's try some chicken chicks. And we gave it frozen thawed chicken chicks, and it just scarfed them down. So
what are you talking about? The Cynodon?
The Cynodon, yeah.
Oh.
So when I took it home, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fuck with mice at all or rodents at all. I'm just going to feed it chicken chicks. So I actually got a styrofoam. It could be the feathers. Yeah, it could. I got a styrofoam bowl, and I put in a frozen thawed chicken chick and 3 day-old quail. And then the next day, they're all gone except one of the day-old quail, I guess, like was so tiny, and his head is or her head is so big that I guess when she bit it or like tried to eat it, it kind of fell apart. And there was like a wing and a leg and like the head. So day-old quail is not a good appetizer. I'll just stick to the chicken chicks.
So
see, that's weird because Boiga they're nest raiders. Like they're opportunists. They'll eat frogs. Yeah. They'll eat other snakes. They'll eat lizards. They'll eat birds. They'll eat rodents. Like it's very odd that they would be picky like that.
Well, the next thing. So I've been doing this for like 2-3 weeks now. So I'm gonna do the same thing, a paper plate or a styrofoam bowl, and I'm gonna give one of each. I'm gonna do a frozen thawed rat pup. I'm gonna do a frozen thawed chicken chick, and then a day-old quail frozen thawed, and just see what's there in the morning. See if it leaves the rat pink. See if it eats the rat pink. See if it eats all 3.
So, I'm almost getting away from chicks because they're day-old chicks. Yeah. I mean, like they're bigger, but where I get my quail from, I can get 2 to 3 week old quail that are the same exact size. Okay. But they're more along the process of maturing and stuff.
They got a little meat on the bone.
Meat on the bone, all that. Try a rodent with more fur on it, because a lot of times the only reason that the stool is runny is because there's no fur to keep it all together.
Well, see, it's not runny at all. It's not like I don't see because it's on paper towels right now, just so I can kind of keep an eye on things. It's not like a pooled out, diarrhea or loose stool. It's a complete stool with the urate, but it's like reddish colored and like it's weird. It looks like very smooth and I gotta take a picture. It's funky looking.
I'm all literally sending you a picture of your snake shit, please.
What was that, Billy?
Try it and see if there's anything different, and that's how you can troubleshoot it. Just another way too.
Yeah.
My biggest difference in the Pituopas, they shit pretty messy. But if I feed them chicks, I get a lighter color and a lot more liquid. That's kind of usually the difference. But dude, I've had young Pituopas
I wonder if that's because there's less calcium in them.
That's
because
possible,
the bones are hollow. Like there's less calcium, so there's just less.
Yeah, and the urates are very, very minute in relation to the overall size of the cat.
I look at a day-old chick the same way I look at a pinky, or a fuzzy with not much hair on her or whatever. There's really not much to it.
Well,
it's basically just they still have the yolk in them and stuff, and
I would say
that's really what you're doing.
The chicken chick that I fed it is probably bigger than this cigarette pack.
Yeah, they got size to them.
Yeah, but there's just nothing there.
Yeah, they definitely have size to them, but that chick, in my mind, this is how I look at it. It makes sense to me. That chick, in my mind, has the same nutritional value as that day-old quail. It's just bigger.
Okay, I see your point.
That's why
it's just more developed.
So that's why I try to do quail that are the same size as the chicks, and they're more along the lines of being more mature with their skeletal system, their organ system. They're not just fully yolk,
God, I'm so jealous, man.
That's a pretty snake, man.
They are very pretty. They're really pretty as babies.
Look at the belly scale. It just stops.
That's wow.
You know what I mean?
It immediately makes me think of like a perennie goanna, like the colors. For some reason, I don't know if it'll pop in my head. Like its tail, tip of its tail.
And yes, there's way more foliage in there now. This is a picture from like 2 weeks ago.
I was gonna say my cyanea, they're packed out, dude. Like I gotta wade through fake plants just to get to the hide.
Yeah.
What's your?
I gotta get that thing from Brahms for the roof, and then when I do the thing from the roof, I know he's just gonna live in there.
I may have a spare. If I have a spare, I'll bring it to Daytona.
I bought the black plastic hide cave specifically.
Is it a medium?
It's the medium size, and I'm hoping to God it's the same dimensions because the entry hole is not on the long side. It's in the middle. Yes.
This is the big one. This is for the Jansenized. So I got they're getting elevated hides, but this is going to be the bottom hide.
That's the one I bought. That's exactly.
That's a game changer, Justin. You have to have that with Ganyasoma.
Yeah, well, the one they have is going to be a little smaller, but this one will pack out with spag and stuff and make it like a human hide.
Oh my god! Yep, perfect. Absolutely.
So I'm keeping them exactly the same as I'm keeping the cyanea, like packed out with $5 giant fern bundles from Walmart, which I love. They got actually here. I'll show you.
I'd never seen those hides with the hole in the side. I was so excited when Underground had them, and I was like, I'm buying one of these for the dog tooth because that Cynodon lives in the lip of the vision. And I know it's because I just don't have more arboreal stuff from the go. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, does that screw in or is that epoxy on?
Screwed wing nuts.
Awesome.
So I can remove it or I have to?
I like it.
Well, now hold on. Do those slide in a track or?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
What?
That's for parakeets and shit, right?
Yeah, but where'd you get that from?
eBay. Dude, you can get like 2 or 3 of these for like $15 on eBay. It's Manzanita.
I went to 3 or 4 different bird stores in my county, like parrot stores.
eBay, bro.
All of them were not made of wood. They were made out of a material that the bird's supposed to eat. Like calcium or whatever.
Phil, I see a tree behind you. Just go get you one.
So yeah, these just slide out.
Nice.
But the nice thing is is they drop in, so you don't have to worry about if this tilts, that whole thing coming out. They literally go and then they drop in, and there's like a little stop to them.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Yeah, Justin. Hopefully you have one because I'm stealing that from you.
Nice.
He doesn't make them for the larger ones because Reptile Basics already has one similar for the larger size, like I was showing you. But for the mediums, which I mean, I may eventually. I've tried to convince Brahms to start doing the bigger ones, but
Reptiles Basics has ones for the large hides.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They're made out of PVC. They're not 3D printed though. So like, yeah, this is just screwed on with wing nuts, and I have it with wing nuts just so it's easy to remove. The heat panel is done with just regular screws.
Now, see, here's my problem though. I didn't realize it was screwed on. I thought it was glued on.
No. And then I have this cut out so the cord runs out the back. Like I cut it out here and cut it out in the tub, so it just sits.
I have to drill holes in my vision cage.
So that my little tiny brain understands, where do you put the probe for your thermostat on the heat panel?
So what I do with the Cyania is I'll usually, like with my with the Cyania, it's in the side. It's not in the middle like this or in the long side. It's in the short side. I have it twist tied to the perch under the heat panel.
Oh, okay. So you do put it in the enclosure. You just try to secure it down so they're not going to tear it off.
Yeah, I used to zip tie them, but zip ties are kind of frustrating because if you have to clean, like with the chondros, if I have to take that perch out, I have to cut the zip tie and then I have to redo a zip tie. So I get these long twist ties that actually come with these heat panels with the cords and stuff. And they're crazy. They're like freaking 6 inches long, and I'll just use that and twist tie the snot out of it, the probe to that perch, and then just kind of wrap that excess around. And that way it's easy to remove,
Do y'all have preference in thermostats? Do y'all have like a go-to?
So Varium Electronics. I don't care how much they are.
Yeah, I just bought a bunch of perk stats.
That's awesome.
I've been using for years, and I didn't, I don't know. It's South Texas, man. We're a little bumping down here. I use those. They're for plants, and they've got about a 2 to 4 degree sway on them. Jumpstart thermostats. They're like $50. They're not real expensive, and it's just individual one. It's got a probe on it, and they've worked great for years. But I have some new racks that I'm having custom made for my room to get some height out of them. And I've been buying Herpstat, the 2 probe Herpstats. For backup.
Yeah, see, I don't mind the herp stats, and actually, that's what I'm wanting to get for these 2 tubs. Let me share it. Since I'll have these tubs pretty much stacked on top of one another, I'm going to get one of these dual. Because like the Hobby Stat, which is the Varium Electronics version of this with just the little dial. Like I've been using those for a while now, and I have 0 issues with them. So, it's not going to be as precise as like a VE200 or.
My own is those are brilliant because I don't have to fuck with LCD screens and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm terrified that something's going to bump into it and change it.
You just put it somewhere where that can't happen.
Yeah, but that's just my luck. You know what I mean? Like my luck, a carpet's going to get out and just slither across it and everyone's going to die because I'm that guy,
And everyone's going to die, he said.
I'm trying to see which one I just bought. Maybe it was VE. No, yeah, it's a Herpstat 2.
Okay.
I bought a couple of those. They're the 2 probe. You can do the cool downs with them. You can do a night temp drop. They look kind of like this. Yeah, I was like, man, are they VE? Because I looked at the VEs and the Herpstat, and I kind of they look kind of like that. Oh shit, that.
Okay.
But mine's the 2 probe. Everything I read, they got the same reviews as the VEs, and man, I should have asked you before. I should have gotten VEs, I guess.
That's what I use.
Billy's on it.
Yeah.
I use the 200s. I like them because they're proportional, or you can make them proportional, so you don't have that varying degrees going on, 2 or 3 degrees.
Yeah.
And they have a safety shut off, so you can set it to a certain point. And then if it reaches that point, it'll automatically shut everything off.
Yes.
So
okay.
I'm away from my collection a lot. So that's something that I absolutely want.
Yeah, that's what the Herpstat has in it. And yeah, Dominique, I use those jump starts for all my corns, pits. But see,
I use the Inkbirds.
Yeah, I think Inkbird is probably the exact same product.
What's up, Andy?
They look the same. My Pitiophis, all my rats of Pitiophis, I have at 81 degrees. So the hottest it's going to get before it times out is 83. But usually, if I temp gun it, they're right around 80, 81. It never had a snake not seem to be not performing as the snake should, I guess. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but yeah.
I have a herb stat on my incubator too, for that very reason, Dom, because Dom says you can get it to the tenths of a degree.
That's cool. I didn't know.
But even then, I do wonder how accurate. Like, does the tenths of a degree really matter when you're dealing with different size spaces? Like, how accurate can you really get that? But
it's also, I think, it's probe quality too. I'm sure there's more articulated probe others. I mean, I don't know which one I have. But.
I just think about like eggs when they're in the wild, or if we're doing MI or something like that. It's not constant 100% of the time.
Right.
You know, like it's okay if you have a degree or two swing throughout the day or whatever.
Or even more. I'm sure there's more.
Well, yeah, but just for what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, if it's at 88 in the middle of the day and then 87 or 86.5 during the night, and it just does that swing every day, it's going to be okay, you know?
When I took thermodynamics in college, one of the things that like we immediately learned doing like experiments or like lab or whatever was that most of your equipment, whether it's thermostats or not like some any item that is reading temperature is usually off to some extent, right? Like you don't know if it's a degree, you don't know if it's a half a degree, you don't know if it's a tenth of a degree. But the quality control that's involved to create something that is going to be so accurate is usually outside the realm of something you're going to spend money on. Just in general, right? Like your temp gun might be off from the next temp gun that's from the exact same brand. So, one of these days, so I'm getting my Christmas gift to myself this year is going to be from Sea Serpents. I'm going to get an incubator because I've used a lot of his racks, and anything that Chris Nettles makes is perfection. He makes the best stuff. Yeah, I love his stuff. I'm going to get one of his incubators this year for Christmas. Yeah. But one of these days I'll have to show y'all my pumpkin ass incubator I've been using for a while.
I'd like to get one eventually too.
Dude, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll go spend $1,000 on a snake, but I don't want to spend more than a couple $100 on an incubator when I'm sitting there trying to. And that's something I need to fix on my side.
I want to buy the big one. I'm gonna have the big one within a year or two.
Yeah,
100%.
Buy me one.
Yo, my man. Hey, hit up Justin's GoFundMe. It's Southern Snake Daddy _6969@gmail.com. Anything you can do to help. Just remember. So my incubator right now is a $16 ice chest from Walmart with Reptile Basics heat tape taped on the inside of three edges, water bottles all over the bottom of it, a workout mat that looks like these workout mats that I use. I cut one up and put a layer of that as like the floor of it on top of the heat sink for water bottles. And I put a probe in there right in the middle, and it's on a jump start. I mean, I think I wrapped up in the whole thing. I got $60. Dude, that incubator has been bulletproof for years and has kept temperature. I got one of those Gurus, Justin, the one you showed me. It keeps.
The Gobies. Yeah.
Gobies. There you go, Gobies. I've got one of those in there, and dude, it sways maybe a degree. It's kind of awesome how long and how well it's worked.
What you got there, buddy?
Hell yeah, man!
It's a South Florida Danasis beetle that has been attacking my legs. Oh, there he goes. And that's why I was like jumping around like a moron, because this thing kept hitting me, and I'm like, "What the fuck is hitting me?" And I realized it was him. And he finally landed on the keyboard, and I grabbed him.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Phil at Knobtails.IG, new breeding project, South Florida beetles. It's going to be big in the hobby. He's the first person to captain breed them.
Bioactive ready.
Bioactive ready? They eat specifically pills?
Masters.
I did put my egg box together for the Cyanea eggs.
Nice.
Pending they're good. So what I'm doing now is I talked to Chris. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. He's over in the Europe land somewhere. And
Boyga Chris.
He sent me pictures of how he does his egg boxes, and so I went to Walmart this morning and got some and put that APS I always talk about, that aquatic plant soil, in the bottom, light diffused on top of that, and then I took like a ball of sphagnum and put it in one end, and so I'm going to do that. And I guess I need to kind of figure. I want to put like a tiny hole in the center just for pressure regions. I put some springtails in there too. I'm probably going to add more before the eggs show up and get in. So hopefully they're good. I know she's definitely gravid. I mean, I fed her the other day and she about freaking took my hand off. So,
ooh. Hey, that's good. If they're gravid and eating, that's definitely a benefit.
Yeah, that's cool.
They come out pretty small, huh?
Yeah. Well, they're long and they're really like all the Boyga. They're super long and just super thin. So, She's a small female, so I'm hoping they're good. I'm hoping I didn't breed her too small, but we'll see.
They're a kind of a mouse tail eater for a while, right?
Yeah, when I first got mine from Jordan Russell, he warned me ahead of time. He's like, so these have been eating fine with me. He's like, but when I ship them, I can guarantee you they're going to go off food. He's like, you're going to have to assist feed tails for a couple weeks. And sure enough, but after a little while of doing that, they, you could just drop feed them, no problem. Like all the Boyga I have, just throw mice in there and leave them, and they're gone. I'll throw them in that.
Kind of once they're going, they're unstoppable.
Yeah, I'll throw them up in that elevated hide, that mounted hide, and I know they're going to eat them. Like, it's pretty rare that I open up and go in there and they haven't eaten. So,
dude, that's exciting.
I think that you're not crazy for wanting that, but that's not something personally that I would do.
That's Andy asking if anybody would keep leeches, which my answer is no.
I know there are people that did. Like, I had a friend in high school who had them, but not my cup of tea.
But I got some family members that we could probably call leeches, and I keep them around.
They are blood.
That counts. Yeah, that counts.
And I'm damn sure they suck my blood every time I see them.
Well, not to like go back to what we're talking about with the VE stuff and like the electronics, but I got spoiled because the first ever Bavarian Electronics unit that I got came with a rack that I got from Matt and Jamie, and it was a 300 model, and it had like the night drop and stuff, and I was all like excited, and I'm like, oh, this is so great, and I realized I don't have any of the night drop equipment, like.
Yeah, it's all extra. Yeah.
So I was
That's the nice thing about the Herb Stats is like that has an option.
Yeah. So when I bought my other two that I have, because I think I've only got 3. I need 4. I need to get another one. But when I bought the other ones, I wasn't paying attention, and I was so excited. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy more thermostats. Buy more thermostats." I bought 100s.
Oh, okay.
What a waste.
200s are up, man.
200 are up. That's what a waste the 100s are. Well,
so, to go back to the incubator thing, I have a homemade. Like
Billy's is huge.
It's kind of big.
I want to talk about his incubator though. You know what I mean?
Thanks, buddy. Anyway, so it's as soon as I got it, the fans stopped working in it. It's a homemade incubator. The guy that made it, he put 12-inch heat tape on the back, and he had 3 computer fans up top. And as soon as I got it, they went out. So it's like, all right, well, let me see what I can do. Pretty much until this season, and I think I used it 2 or 3 seasons before that, I didn't use any fans. I didn't have any circulation or whatever. I would just open the incubator up every few days to get fresh air in, whatever. The top would be where I wanted it, 88, 88.5, whatever. And then as you went down lower to where my egg boxes would end up, depending how many clutches I have, they'd go down to 86. And then what I would do is, as the clutches got closer to hatching, I would just rotate them to the bottom, because they produce their own heat. I didn't want them to get their, overheated or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had that swing within the incubator, and I didn't have any issues hatching stuff out. So that's why, like, when people say, and I know there are some eggs that are more sensitive and they have to be constant and all that. But for what I'm doing with carpets, Morelia and stuff, 'cause I've done carpets, carpondros, all that stuff, it's all hatched out perfectly fine. So the whole having to dial it into the 10th of a degree or half a degree or whatever, I don't think it has to be as dialed in as we may make it out to be.
It just has to maintain within a plus or minus
within a range.
And
yeah,
within a
because I've
range.
done MI too, and you can't tell me that within a snake room during the day when the heat's on and it turns off at night, and then the female's there and they're shivering or they're loosening their coils or whatever, that the temperature stays the same 100% of the time. There's no way. So I think we do have more of a buffer system than we realize.
Yeah, it's like, I think constantly about species that are here in South Texas that are also in that range north, right? Like let's take a Texas rat snake or whatever, a western rat or whatever some random dude's calling them now. Here, today it was 101 degrees. There was just a little bit of wind. Humidity was 90%. It's hot. Where is that snake going to lay those eggs where it's not getting in that at least upper 80 range, right? Like maybe low 80s. I just don't see, even in the shade, it's just so hot and so humid. But then we'll go through droughts in Texas all the time. We kind of have rainy seasons and dry seasons where it'll be 40% humidity, 50% humidity, same heat. But then these animals, the same species, will do the same in the tub that I have set at 81 degrees as another, reach north up into Colorado and stuff where it's, it was, I got a good buddy that lives up in Colorado and it was 38 degrees or some shit this morning. And I'm like, well, where did that snake lay its eggs where it stayed at a consistent 81 degrees? It's not possible. It just can't be. So yeah, there probably, I would say that humidity and ventilation probably play a bigger part than necessarily than actual exact temperature.
Absolutely. Well, when you talk to people that have been doing this a while, and it doesn't matter if it's colubrid eggs or python eggs or whatever, you'll see that there's always a point where they end up saying, hey, I'm going to incubate at a lower temperature. Yeah, it might take a little longer, but I've noticed in my experience that I get better looking babies, bigger babies, more robust, healthier, better feeders, whatever, so.
I think we're always safer to go to a lower temperature as long as our humidity is maintained correctly, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Too high humidity and too low of a temperature, we can start looking at respiratory issues. But I don't know, man. There's so much more.
When you look at pythons, there's this cookbook formula of it has to be. There's people that are 85.5 or 88.5. It's got to be 88.5 100% of the time, and that's the only way you can do it. And with me, with my personal experience, seeing that it can fluctuate and it's fine, just gets my mind going. That's all.
Hope all those assholes can see it. Doubt me now, bitches.
Yep. I think that this picture is fantastic because apparently, I got to be honest, this person, I don't know if they're in the United States. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. It doesn't matter. But they're very, very good at breeding Echistrodon. They love Echistrodon. And I guess there was some people that said some stuff and doubted them for whatever reason. But I just love this picture because it just shows you like every step of postpartum live bearing snakes. And I don't have to worry about incubation at all.
Yeah. Well, here's what I want to know from Chris and Billy with incubation in your egg boxes. What kind of ventilation do you put in your boxes when you have them incubating?
I wish I had one of my boxes out here. So inherently, if I'm doing my gecko eggs, and gecko eggs are going to be different. I have a bento box from Target, and I have one full of water, one full of paper towels, and one full of just dry perlite. And what that does, because there's movement in the box as far as the air goes, the paper towel wicks any of the extra condensation off of the lid. The water provides the humidity. The perlite provides the stable substrate for it to not roll or move.
So, all right, now, hold on a second. So you have all three of these in the incubator with the tops off of them.
No, this is one sealed box.
One box with dividers.
Shelf. Yeah, on my shelf at 76 degrees. It's like a little kid lunchbox thing, right? Where it has little dividers, but there's airflow through it, right? Like it's not sealed. So that works great for my lychee eggs, guard eggs. For my colubrids,
not to cut you off, but the leech. Let's just say lychees. The eggs are in a substrate media in a deli cup, and that is sitting in the same container in the quote unquote incubator as the bento box.
No. They're not in an incubator. The bento box is the incubator. I have one segment is just full of perlite, maybe a little moist. Put a little water in there, not much. And then I have one full area of water, and then one with that paper towel. And you make sure the paper towel is touching the lid. I don't know. It's worked so good that I don't want to change it. But now on my colubrids, I have them in that fully sealed, or what we would call fully sealed for a Walmart ice chest.
Sure.
But I take a normal Sterilite, the one with the two little green clippy guys on the side. Yeah. It's like that Sterilite box. Everybody knows that Sterilite.
Right.
5.2 quarts or whatever. I think it's small.
You know what I did with? Never mind. Finish.
So I do 3/4 of the volume of perlite. I put it on my scale. I put it on my scale before there's perlite in it. I fill it up with the perlite to about 3/4 deep, and then I get that exact weight, and then I put exactly that much water in it, and then I just get in there with my hands, just mix it all up, mix it all up, and then the lid. It doesn't seal all the way. It's not a perfect seal. It doesn't have a rubber seal on it, and I take a little pinhole and I put it right in the corner, just so that there's a little bit of ventilation. Corn snake eggs did perfect in that. And then that goes in my incubator at 80. My incubator set at 81 degrees. The hottest it gets. Well, no, I'm sorry. My incubator said 80. The hottest I've ever seen in the incubator was 81.3. The coldest I've ever seen in the incubator was like right at 78.1 or something. My first group of corn snakes came out at 74 days, which was kind of long. And I bumped it up 1 degree for this next set of corn snake eggs. But I did not lose an egg. In fact, the only egg I lost, you guys may disagree with this. I'm sorry, anybody listening. I had not incubated snakes before. I had only bred rosy boas, and I wanted to see what the incubation looked like in snakes, what a snake looked like in the egg. So I didn't cut an egg to get the snake out. I literally cut open an egg to see the snake as a embryo in there. Yeah. I wanted to see. I mean, sorry, I killed an animal. I knew I killed it.
We've all done that.
I wanted. What's that?
That's how you learn.
Yeah, I wanted to see. I'm 58 days or 60 days in. What does the snake look like? What is the progression? Where are the eyelids? What is it? I wanted to see. I fed it to a leishmanist. Nice. But I did. I knew that I was going to kill the animal, which is bad, and I understand that. But at the point where I'm sitting here, going to be breeding, 10 pairs of animals next year, snake-wise, I've done it with geckos 20 years ago. I wanted to see where egg development is, what I can expect, what I can see. I want to learn as much from the process as I can. But yeah, no, every corn snake hatched perfectly. They were all beautiful. Once they were all out, I took the actual egg box out and stuck it in a little homemade rack that I have for babies, and let them all shed. Once they all shed, put them in individual tubs, and they were eaten within a couple of weeks. Gone.
Cool. Billy, what's going on over there?
Egg boxes. All right.
And please elaborate as to the species that are showing us.
Well, carpet pythons. It's all fully produced. So I have these.
Yep.
I believe they're the Iris tubs. These are the 15 quart. So I don't have any holes in them or anything.
Nope.
So like I was saying, before this year, I didn't have any fans working in my incubator, and I've had no issues. I also usually didn't use the egg crate for the little egg flat stuff. So I just do the vermiculite. I do it by hand. I had this thing where I want to learn how to do it the old school way before I graduate to, let's say I just bought a bag of hash right or something and just threw it in there, put the eggs in, hey, everything's good. I want to understand.
That right sucks. I'm sorry.
I've never used it, but you know what I'm saying? I want to know and have the feel of how how much water content needs to be in there and all that. Like Chris was saying, I want to understand the process. So that's my thought. So have that. We've all seen the egg crate. So I'll just do some vermiculite, put the eggs on there. I haven't had any issues until this past season. Once I put another fan in there, I noticed that my humidity was dropping. So I was nursing that a lot more than I have in the past. Another egg box that I started using, honestly, I like better than the tub, are just these huge deli cups.
Mm-hmm. With or without the holes?
So this one, I put 4 holes in, just kind of like a cross pattern. So there's, you can see it. One there, and just like that. As far as probes and stuff, I literally just put the wires in there and then I can still close it on the wire and it still works. I don't have to put a big hole in to get the probe in or whatever I need to. But I've noticed that this will hold humidity more. I know I could do the tub setup and do maybe the press and seal stuff you can get for you buy it in a sheet and you just you press against the edge of the thing. But I haven't tried that yet. I honestly think I'm probably going to go to this more, because even though you said my incubator is really big, I can only fit realistically 5 or 6 clutches in there with the 15 quart Iris tubs. I could do a lot more with the deli cups. Now, it is big, but that's why I want to get the big Sea Serpents one, and that one's probably going to end up being my Coluber one if I ever figure those guys out.
Now, do you ever use a divider with? I mean, obviously, like, because not to sound stupid, but like a lot of baby carpets, they look very, very similar, and you obviously don't want to mix stuff up. But like, have you ever used a divider inside the tub and like these are this and this is that and this is that? Or like,
I've never had so many clutches where I had to do that.
Okay.
It's always been 1 clutch per container. I don't know if I would do that. The size of carpet clutches, I could probably get away putting them in 6 quart tubs.
Okay.
But I like having a little bit of an extra buffer around them.
Sure.
I mean, a carpet clutch, realistically in this, I had a clutch of 17 eggs this season, and it probably took up a third of this 15 quart tub, Yeah. So I could get away with it, but, then you get into you have to pay more attention to the ventilation and all that. It's just like a fish tank. The smaller it is, the harder it is to control. The bigger it is, the more room for error you have. I have that same mentality with egg boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. My corn snake eggs and my egg boxes almost look small, right? Like they take up maybe a third of the box, but you can maintain that humidity in that little or in that area much easier.
Absolutely.
I will say on vermiculite to perlite, I used vermiculite for 18 years. Never could I say a bad thing about vermiculite. I went over to perlite just to try it, and I fell in love with it because of the fact that if you put too much water in it, if it's too wet, the water will go to the bottom, whereas vermiculite will absorb it, and it almost goes like to the top, it feels like.
Yeah, it's super.
So, but I don't think you're wrong with either one. You can take a container, zero out your scale, put in 1-to-1 water to incubation substrate. Now I've never used any hatchite or anything like that, but I've never gone wrong with that. That's exactly the humidity level I've used for every species of Coleonyx, every species of Phelsuma, all the Rhacodactylus. Same thing with corn snakes, and I plan to do the same thing with my Pitiophis and whatever Pantherophis I'm breeding next year.
When you did the Coleonyx, like, did you keep them the same humidity with the other geckos just to make it easy, or did they still need that higher level of humidity?
So it depends on the species. With the Coleonyx mitratus, I keep them in a higher humidity because they're Central American, and I incubated those. This was one thing that I could probably say I did wrong. I incubated those just on the shelf with the gargoyle and lychee eggs, and it took about 130 days for them to hatch.
Wow.
I was told it should only be about 70 days, and they should incubate about 82 degrees because you keep them at a hot spot about 82 degrees. With Variegatus, when I kept my Variegatus, which is an amazing species to keep. I highly suggest you keep them though, because you have knobtails.
Yeah. Dude, I caught them in the wild like that. Like I have to. I want to. Dude,
hot side for Variegatus is 86 to 88 degrees. I incubated mine in my incubator in that same kind of 81, 82 degrees. But you know what? You're exactly right. I use
yeah, he's gonna have to say that again. I lost you there.
Uh-oh.
Chris.
Yeah, he kind of roboted on us.
A thing.
Are you live?
Domo arigato, Mr. Anschab.
Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Oh, there he goes. Damn.
Well, the reason I was asking about ventilation is because this is the egg box I use for the birds, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put in 2 tiny pinholes on like each side and then covered them up with masking tape because that's what I was told to do with like chondro eggs. And so I wasn't sure if y'all guys added ventilation, and then like I know like after like the first 2 weeks or so, eggs don't need air exchange. Like there's no air, like anabolic processes going on at that point. But like later term towards the end, heat rises because there is air exchange going on and gas exchange, and so you have to ventilate it. And so I wasn't sure as far as like colubrid specifically, because I'm thinking like with the cyanea and stuff, you know, how much ventilation do you really need? Because I know with bears and corns, a lot of people, it's like throw it in a container and wait, they'll come out. Like it's not important. But I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm doing. So
we're all doing.
Yeah, we always are. I hope Chris comes back in because I was going to ask you guys, have you guys ever done, I want him to finish telling me about the Variegata, but have you ever done, you guys do the vermiculite squeeze test or no? You still weigh it out?
I don't weigh anything. I get a bucket of it. I put some water in it. I swish it around. I do the squeeze test, and then I throw it in.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering if I was just too old school for that shit, and like I should be weighing it, but no, man, I ring it out.
Like I was saying, I don't know why I have this affinity to want to like do it the old way before I graduate to the new way. You know,
yeah, of course.
Because I could easily just get the egg crate, prop it up on some PVC, just do water underneath, not have to worry about any measurements, make sure the eggs stay off the water, and then I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
You know,
are you guys familiar with the APS stuff I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Just what I've heard you talk about it.
Yeah,
let me show you the joys of APS.
Well, here, show this photo real quick before you do that. There it is.
Welcome back, Chris.
Welcome back.
Hey, yeah, sorry, my internet fucking took a shit.
So there you go, Chris.
Yeah.
My friends and I found that in just outside of Tucson.
Dude, Variegatas are an absolute treat to keep. They're so active. They're so wonderful. Hardy geckos.
Awesome.
They're pretty geckos too.
Super pretty. And like this picture was taken at like maybe 5:30 in the afternoon. So like the sun was going down, and you know we just flipped it underneath this piece of wood, and like I wish I could see it in. I know it sounds stupid, but I wish I could have seen him in like fluorescent lighting, like in your house or whatever, because I feel like I feel like a lot of the coloration is washed out from the sun in this.
Sure. Yeah.
That's still a pretty gecko, then.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what my variegatas look like, and man, I love them.
Look at that pixelated tail, dude.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Right? I believe that is a regrown tail.
You think?
Yeah, they regrow their tail almost fully, exactly looking the same. Usually their tail looks a lot like the body pattern.
Okay. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but like, look at these weird hemisphere things he's got going on either side.
It's a male.
What are you, creature? Jesus.
Males have spurs.
Really? Okay.
Yep. You can sex them from the egg.
Really?
That's cool. So just like veiled chameleons.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had no idea.
Yep.
That's cool, man.
All have spurs. All right, you guys heard it here first. Justin from Palmetto Coast Exotics just started a captive breeding program for stink bugs.
Great for bioactive again.
Here, I'm going to share a picture. I'm going to show you guys a picture. All you venomous guys.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you my demonstration.
What is that?
It's a copperhead eating a worm.
Oh, dude, guys, don't. All right. Listen, I am part of the Equestron group. That's why I just showed you guys that picture. Okay.
Yeah.
I stay in the shadows because I just want to be a fly on the wall. Some people started feeding their baby copperheads hornworms.
Yeah.
Totally natural, totally normal. I've fed crickets and roaches to soft-tail vipers. You know, it happens. They're small. They're babies. They want to eat bugs. They're going to eat insects and arthropods and arachnids and whatever else. But there is this thing now where it's like, I have to feed worms to my viper. I have to do it. And like, there's people on Facebook. I feel bad for them because they just got into venomous. They got a copperhead as their first one because that's like the norm is you get a southern copperhead as your first venomous.
It's your corn snake, yeah.
And they're pitching hornworms in there. Not only that, they're pitching hornworms they found in their yard. And I'm like, no. Like,
pesticide.
If he eats it, he gonna die.
Yeah.
So.
Well, of course I do, Mike. That's usually, as somebody on a paleo diet sometimes, that's kind of what I go for. Usually start with worms.
All right, so Justin, what were you saying?
All right, so this is dry, right? This is that APS I was talking about.
Yeah.
I use this for crusteds the entire time I had them and bred them. I love this stuff.
Have you ever used it as full substrate?
Huh?
Have you ever used it as a full substrate?
No, just for incubation.
Because I've seen people mixing it with calc sand, and it looked really cool.
Well, here's the nice thing. So this is dry, okay?
Right.
That's it wet.
Yeah.
You can see it.
The nice thing is you can tell when it's drying out. Like,
yeah.
And it holds humidity really well. So, like, when it's wet, it's a dark color. When it's dry, like, you can see the difference there.
It clumps definitely when it's wet, which is good.
So is it almost like a cross between perlite and gravel? Almost.
It's like a clay more than anything. Like it's not a moist, like pliable clay. It's like a hardened, like terracotta. You know how terracotta turns into a different color when it's wet? Same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like this stuff. I'm trying it out with the cyanea eggs as like instead of using vermiculite, using this.
Now, would you put the eggs directly on that, or would you have something in between them?
I got egg crate on top of it. Okay. But the nice thing is like the perlite, the water's going to run down. I can tell when it needs more, which it probably won't, because when I was using it with cresteds, I very rarely had to add water to it at all. In like a sealed container, it'll hold water forever. But
you're using the hydrogen peroxide again, right?
I didn't this time. I just used my filtered water.
Okay.
The hydrogen peroxide is nice. You just gotta let it sit out for like a solid 24 hours plus to make sure it completely converts to water before you put eggs in it.
Man, my go-to on the perlite, measuring it weight-wise 1-to-1 with distilled water is it's done great. I do try to cycle out my incubation medium about every 6 months because with the geckos you're getting eggs at the end of time, so it's not like one clutch. It's as it goes.
Yeah, so I love that stuff. I really want to try it.
That's pretty cool.
Have eggs buried in it. like you would with vermiculite, which is what I did with cresteds. I like it because it's poured, like when you put water on it, it's almost like Rice Krispies. Like you can hear it sizzle, like it literally like sizzles. And it's porous, so things can breathe.
Where do you get it? I'm interested now.
I'm not even sure where you can find it anymore. My mom had a bucket of it in the garage when she was using it for their pond, but
I know Pangea sells bags of Hatchite, which is
Hatchum or something is what it's branded as, but you can get big bags of it somewhere else.
Don't they sell it at orchid stores too?
I've looked for it at Lowe's and stuff and never found it. So
yeah, but I mean, like I'm thinking of like an actual store, like a specialty botany store that does like orchid supplies.
Oh, probably. I'd imagine so. It's made for
it. When I was going through my when I was getting the carnivorous plants I was going to all the nurseries and stuff. I never saw it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking up on Amazon right now.
I wonder if it has a different name, and we all saw it at the nursery in like a 50-pound bag, and we didn't know it.
Yeah,
that's very possible.
It's totally possible. Yeah.
So, Chris,
I'm seeing a 10-pound bag is $16 on Amazon right now.
Okay, 10 pounds. Pretty good.
Yeah, that'll last.
Some stuff.
That'll stretch far.
Chris, when you were doing geckos like hardcore, did you ever put multiple species of egg in the same container? Or I'm sorry,
always
different species of egg in the same container?
I still do. Well, I don't have any leeches breeding right now, but I kept leeches, guards, cave geckos, which I love, Goniosaurus, Coleonyx, all in the same thing. Never.
And then
never had an issue.
You just go in there one morning and there are 4 different types of geckos.
I never had that happen. I check daily and never, every time. Now here's something. If I see an egg in my gecko's pipping or sweating, I immediately take that egg out, put it in its own cup with sphagnum moss, and that's so they always hatch on their own. There's been a few occasions when maybe I was on vacation or something and the gecko hatched out. And I hate them, dude, because the guards go batshit when they hatch, and they'll flip eggs. And it only takes a couple hours of a flipped egg and it's done.
Yeah. So now you put them in a deli cup of moist sphagnum moss. Just put the egg on the moss.
Yeah. But once it starts sweating or it's pipped, usually it's sweating. Well, the second a Rhacodactylus egg starts sweating, you know it's going to hatch. You just put it on the sphagnum moss, and that way it comes out and it's in its own little habitat. It's kind of
brilliant.
And I use a 4.5-inch deli cup, normal shit, and I just spray it down with the distilled water and good to go.
Smart.
My buddy that's breeding those knobtails, which I got to see some of the babies, and they're already huge. He incubates his knobtails with his leopard geckos and has never had a problem. They hatch out. If there's a leopard gecko and a knobtail in there, they're fine.
Do you know what Tempe does? Like 82 or 84 or what?
I know that with leopard geckos, if he's going for males, I think it's 84. And if you're going for females, you're going like 81 or 82, something like that. And he incubates all of his knobtails at the higher temperature. So I think it's 84.
Has he noticed the 50-50 sex ratio on a pair of eggs?
I don't think any of them are at the age where they're sexual yet.
Yeah.
None of his stuff. Or it may not. I know that knobtails supposedly are sexable really young if you like flashlight their rear ends or something. I've heard. I don't know. Like supposedly Goniosaurus are sexable right out of the egg. You can see lines of pores or whatever. Rhacodactylus are supposed to be sexable right out of the egg. I can't tell shit till they're about 2 months old. And I have a little microscope that takes pictures on my phone. And I've been pretty accurate, but I'm going to tell you right now, a gentleman that I sold a very expensive bacon line guard to that was male. He paid a lot of money for it, and he's a good friend. Ended up being female. So it's doing this for a long time. I'm still wrong. So. And
like, are you checking? Like, are you measuring diameter of femoral pores, or are you just looking for like gonads? I don't understand.
Between their legs, they'll have those femoral pores, and if they have multiple lines of pores, usually it's a male. But that's going for that usually kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
As it matures, that it's really easy to be wrong. A lot of geckos should be generally unsexable until they go through their sexual maturation, which is going to be about a year for most species.
See, like when I was doing a lot of the Cordillas hardcore, we would flip over babies that were 2 days old, and they all have a definitive femoral pore line. And like, okay. I honestly don't remember if, boys are supposed to be bigger than girls, or more of them or whatever. But I remember my breeder females, well, I don't remember if it was postpartum or maybe while they were pregnant. I don't remember, but the pores were huge. And it was contradictory to what my literature was saying. And I assumed that was perhaps because they were still in the same cage with the males. You know what I mean?
Possibly, yeah.
Because like I would just cross my fingers, and the minute I saw that there was a baby running around, I would yoink the male out. And like they only have 3 or 4 babies per litter, so I would yoink the male out. If she only has 1 baby in there, well, crap, I know the male or the female maybe ate one. But I've been really really lucky with not having any parent cannibalism.
Yeah, it's kind of cool with my Urodactyloides. I have a really deep substrate. And I'm having a really natural kind of cage. No real plants, but like plastic plants. It's well covered. My buddy that I got him from Vermilion Exotics, he hatches his out in the literal cage. He just waits until he finds babies. And he's never had a problem with it. So I'm hoping that goes good for me. Those Urodactyloides are badass, by the way. They're I will say they're kind of boring. They don't really do much. But as far as neatness in the species when holding and interacting with, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I think you guys fucked me up because now I got to look for Coleonyx at Daytona.
Dude, so I lost my female this year. I've had her for years. I should get another female to breed my Trottis. My male is still in my office at work, and a really beautiful bioactive. Dude, he's fucking bulletproof. I can leave for a week and not even give a shit about it. I just have the lights on timers, and one is a iridescent or a regular just light bulb that gets the cage to about 82 degrees, and then a UV bulb, and I have them on timers. Dude, Coleonyx are so damn fun. You'd like the Variegatus because it's a desert species. You're going to keep it just like a knobtail. The Mitratus are going to be more kind of like a cave gecko in setup, but a little bit more heat. But I've heard the one that I haven't kept. Now Brevis. Ooh, look for Brevis. That's probably the one I had the most fun with. Texas banded geckos.
I was gonna say that's like West Texas, like Big Bend area, right?
Yeah. Now the ones that just came off the endangered or the threatened list are the reticulatus, which are the biggest species of Coleonyx. The reticulated geckos, and they're big, dude. I can only keep at any time 6, but I can breed them and I can ship them out. Can't sell them, not a problem. They're the same thing as Texas Indigos. But if we're in West Texas, supposedly they're everywhere, and I do plan on collecting up there if I ever find them. They're desert species, huge. If you can look up a picture, Justin, look up Coleonyx reticulatus or reticulated banded gecko. Dude, they're monsters. They're like leopard gecko size. They are such a neat species, and you could road cruise them without a problem. Of course, we wouldn't do that in Texas because it's mildly illegal.
Of course, we would never.
Of course.
So when we go to West Texas, you have 2 ways to herd. There's one way, which is walking cuts, and you're going to find really 2 species, and that's going to be all of your. I don't remember the name. Not real good with the Crotalus or Crotalus. You're going to find Lepidus. Sorry, I do remember the name. You're going to find Lepidus, and you're going to find maybe for a week, you might find an Alterna. Or we could road cruise back, obviously we wouldn't be trying to collect anything from the car because it's lost.
I keep finding X-rays.
X-rays? If you road cruise in West Texas, dude, we'll find Emery, we'll find Splendida, we'll find Transpecos, we'll find these guys. Oh, dude, they're beasts.
Dude, they're so translucent looking.
Yeah. They're nuts. And they're big.
Well, Coleonyx is Iroquois for clear ghost lizard.
Is it really? Look at that thing.
Dude, look at it.
What is this?
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say, what's that one below it? Sweet
I
tack.
don't.
Is that named after
Banded
Carl?
gecko.
I'll bet you that's named after Carl Sweetak.
I'm not familiar with that one.
That whack book he wrote.
Oh yeah, Coleonyx fasciatus, Coleonyx swati. Yeah, a lot of these are protected species. They're just very, very rare.
German herpetologist, Sweetak.
There you go.
Oh, native in California and Baja. Of course we love it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, if you road cruise in West Texas, that's how you find everything. But you will never find an alternative. It just does not happen.
We don't want alternative. We want Bairds and Subox.
Dude, my man that was over there sent me that picture of the bear dye up on a rock. Just he found it in a cut looking for alternative. So I think bear dye are a little harder to find.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard that they're like one of the hardest snakes to find, one of the rarest. But at the same time, you go on iNaturalist, and there's like a ton of people that are finding them. So
yeah, but people told me I wasn't going to find a Coleonyx when I went to Arizona, and like even my friend who's a professor of biology in Phoenix, she told me she'd never seen a native gecko, and she's been herping for years.
Really?
And then literally we were walking, and like my friend Brooke was like, man, that log looks really good. And she just walks off. And dude, the log was only like this big. It was like, I don't want to say it was the trunk of a cholla cactus. It didn't have spines on it or anything. It was just a piece of dead wood. And literally she just picks it up and boom, that guy goes sitting there. So
I think I know everything I've heard about Coleonyx in West Texas is you're going to find a bunch of them. It also probably depends on what time of year we go. That all depends. I promise you, probably June, July, and August. Don't even think about those months. I know early June is good. You want to wait for a full moon. But I want to go, dude. I want to go and I want to find Subox, and I want to find Emery. I want to find Splendida, dude. The desert kings over there are just beautiful. Long nose. My buddy found a hook nose snake, the ones that eat spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, glossy snakes all over the place. Just so many beautiful brown fucking snakes.
I want liars in the wild.
Those are very common, yeah. Do you know anybody that does anything with them in captivity? Probably not, right?
Nope. We used to have Underground used to have a couple guys that had permits to road cruise in New Mexico or whatever, and they would drive from like Nebraska down into like the Panhandle of Texas and then over New Mexico and like back and forth, and they field collected God knows what, and they would sell certain species to Underground. And I remember we would get liar snakes like once every like 3 or 4 years, but they were always kind of, it's almost like the only ones they found were the shitty ones.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason why they found them is because they weren't doing good and they were like moving to another area or they were just on the road to find hope. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to find Lepidus and take pictures. In Texas, if you want to collect reptiles, if you want to collect an animal that you find, we will have to get hunting licenses. If you even want to take a picture of it, you're going to have your hunting license with the reptile amphibian stamp. I think it's $45. It's good for a year. But yeah, we really do need to think about how we're going to kind of plan this trip. I had pushed, sorry to kind of like go tangent on it. I had pushed the idea of the pulling a trailer with my truck. My truck can sit 4 of us comfortably. That's going to be including me. I could possibly fit a 5th. The truck seats 5 people. But if we're taking a camper, 5 people ain't fitting in that camper no matter how big it is. I could probably pull a 28-foot.
If we end up taking Jake, his little ass can stay in the trunk. He's small. He doesn't take a
plus. Yeah, I mean, my truck's got a big glove box, but there's going to be some guns in there.
The question is, can we choreograph it to be right around migratory bird season so we can hit them playas and get some sandhill cranes? Because I am dying to have some ribeye in the sky.
Yes. So sandhill cranes are massively protected here. In fact, right outside my house is the big sandhill crane statue that we have.
Hold on a second. Because I have several friends that are in my industry, outside of Lubbock and like all that West Texas goodness, and they all legitimately bag like 4 birds a year each.
Really? I'm gonna have to learn more about this because I know we get. So you know what? I'm dumb with birds. I'm dumb. Whatever crane we get here is like super rare, and we have statues and shit. So maybe it's not a sandhill.
They get these playas. I guess it's almost like a flag pond.
Yeah.
And these playas, they set up. They get wooden stakes with a white like piece of linen cloth, and they stake the cloth to it, and they set out like 30 of them to look like, if you look from a bird's eye view, it looks like a flock of geese or a flock of cranes chilling on the banks of the playa.
Seagulls.
And then they lay on their back and cover themselves with reeds and like dead reeds and cattails and shit. And then the minute the birds come in, they just pop up and pop, you know?
I gotta look into this. I didn't know this. And I like
and sandhills are completely protected in Florida because they don't migrate.
Yeah.
Oh, they know it too. Those freaking dicks. They know it.
Oh, of course.
I gotta find out what fucking cranes we have here that are so special. They're massive. They're huge. They're fucking 5 foot tall. They're giant motherfuckers.
It might be sandhills, man. It just might be on your side of the state.
They also may be protected in Corpus. Guess what's protected in Corpus Christi, Texas?
Everything.
The fucking rat of the sky. Fucking seagulls are protected.
Seagulls? Who would want to hurt those little guys?
Me. I want them all dead, Justin.
I like to feed them French fries in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah. Hey, Mike,
no problem, Justin.
Mike, you ever watched Stephen did a whole thing about ribeye in the sky? If you're into hunting, check out the Meat Eater episode of them in West Texas on the playas, because
I gotta find this out.
Yeah, watch it. It's good shit. And
I like wild game a lot.
And Mike, just to touch base on Nile crocodiles in South Florida, I'll fill you in on a little insider information.
Oh.
99.9% of the time, if anyone ever says that there's a Nile crocodile in South Florida, it's horseshit. It's an American crocodile, and they're at the tip of Florida where American crocodiles live. Now, I personally know of one Nile crocodile that is loose on private property because it was in a approved enclosure legitimately, and a storm came and knocked a piece of the fence down, and it got out. But it can be found every single day in the same spot on the nature airboat tour that they have, and the property, and the property is fenced in on the roads and the canals, so it can't get out. I know of one. And it's
Betty White let that shit go, dude.
What's that?
So Betty White let that shit go, dude.
Of course you.
Goddamn Betty White. So when y'all come to Corpus, first thing we're gonna go do is gonna go get some real Mexican food so y'all can actually taste the cuisine of South Texas.
Does it come with the free tortilla chips?
Yeah, I mean we call them tortilla chips, but dude, you get some ceviche, some shrimp amados. We'll get a couple plates of tacos, dude. We'll do it family style. Ooh, we'll go big. The food down here is dude, it's the best.
Mike, I forgot about the zombie cranes. I was talking the flags on a pole, the piece of canvas on a pole. That's what my buddy in Lubbock does. So he's not as crafty as the biologist with the zombie sandhill cranes. What Mike's talking about is on the Meat Eater with Steve Ranella, and Giannis pulled this. There was a biologist kid that they went with to go crane hunting, and what he would do is he would skin the birds that they hunted and fill them full of like cotton and fluff and make like zombie taxidermy and then use those as decoys, which I thought was brilliant.
I've done that with people, but it's frowned upon.
What I was gonna say is talking to all my buddies that go to West Texas all the times. Now we could go for Snake Days, which is gonna be in Sanderson, Texas, which is like the big conservation.
Throw punch people.
Yeah, it's tons of people. The big groups.
Throw punch people.
No, it'll be like Trumbauer and John Edwards or Joseph Edwards and all those guys, and John Laster, local guys. You go meet them and they'll go cruise with you and stuff. But everybody has told me that if you're not going by yourself, to stay in a hotel. It's just so much easier, and they're so damn cheap over there. Now, if we want to go real deep and look for blonde Selvax, we can go to Terra Lingua. That's a big drive. That's 8.5 hours easy. We're going to be going now. Anything we do, we're going to be going through checkpoints, border checkpoints and stuff like that. But man, if y'all got a group chat, add me in on it, and we'll start kind of planning something. We really do need to kind of put something in motion to where we have like set dates. Something's going to work for Phil, Justin, Billy. If Jake's coming, I can fit 5 comfortably in my. Well, I wouldn't say comfortably. It's Tundra. I mean, it's not like a fucking amazing truck, but we can get there easily with 5 of us and gear in the back of the truck. And I'll bring gearboxes. I used to camp a lot. But I think a hotel, also to give us a cool place to sit outside and smoke cigars and shit.
Do you know anyone that could make a teepee?
I can make a teepee. I was in Boy Scouts for 13, 14 years, something like that. I am an Eagle Scout, and I am part of the Order of the Arrow.
Chris is 165th.
Like this, Chris, right?
Yeah. Hey, dude, I made it to Eagle Scout. I made it the whole way.
I made it to Weeblo. Never got any further than that.
Bro, not only did I make it to Weeblo, but I got to carry my arrow of light when I walked across the stage receiving my Eagle Scout. One of the best times of my life, man. I don't have a son. All I got is a daughter, and that's all I'm going to get. I'm proud to have her, but if she ever wants to be in Scouts and camp and stuff, I am about that. Backpacking across the fucking Black Bear Mountains and stuff, dude. Also, there's bears down there, so there's real shit to worry about down there. Bears, mountain lions, stuff like that.
454 Kasul.
Billy gets to be DiCaprio.
I think
I can do that.
I think we're probably only going to have one firearm with us. It'll probably be a nice little tucked-in 9mm in the center console, but we will have it, and we will all make sure we know about it.
Phil can be Fitzgerald.
You bring one gun on a road trip?
Yeah.
Who brings one gun on a road trip?
I need a new gun.
Should I bring?
Guy who ain't that worried about something happening, apparently.
I bring 3. Go to Billy's.
Dude, when you're going down that close to Mexico, you're always worried about something happening. And I'm not saying anything about the creed or credence of the people, but you don't go that far out in West Texas not worried about it. You will see some things.
Yeah, I don't worry about animals. I worry about humans.
I've seen what the cartel guys do. Okay, that shit's no joke.
Dude, that stuff down in that's an hour south of me. That's Matamoros and those areas. Me and my family used to go down to what the hell is it? Progreso. We used to go down there all the time. Now it's not safe to go down there.
I watched a guy get his head cut off with a chainsaw. I'd prefer to not have that be me. So.
Yeah, no. I just want to tickle some snakes. I don't want to get my head cut off. God damn.
The guy was freakishly calm about it.
Yeah.
Came to terms with it?
I don't know. He wasn't happy, I can tell you that.
And on that bombshell.
The internet's a dark place. That's all I'm going to say.
It is. Guys, I got to get up at 5. This is going to be I'm going to go sleep and take my Tylenol PM and think about getting my head cut off with a chainsaw. Let's add me in on that group chat if you can, and we'll start talking about it. We'll plan something for next year. I want to. It's a goal. And then we'll kind of start talking about Carpet Fest or Daytona, and I'll head that way and see what the East Coast is like. A bunch of fucking weird-ass Southerners. And we'll go from there. But y'all have a good night, man.
Good night.
Later, man.
Love y'all.
And just for reference, it's not one gun per pair of pants. It's one gun per pocket. It's called a New York reload.
Now we know.
It's even more effective if you wear cutoff pants, like the ones with the zipper around the knees, and then the ones with the cargo shorts attached too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Throw a Derringer in your boxers or your briefs. Have a penny pistol on hand.
It's like that scene in Archer. He pulls out his underwear gun.
I love that show.
He hands it to Cyril, and Cyril's like, "Why is it all slippery?" It's called a check-off. It goes off for no reason.
I forgot about that show.
The show's
careful where you point it. It goes off for like no reason.
Like no reason. Fucking ocelots. So you boys calling it too or no?
Yeah.
Sounds
Now
like,
I feel weird.
what?
So I feel weird.
Why?
Because
That
I saw a video of a guy who got his head cut off with a freaking chainsaw, man.
Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about how amazing.
People are going to think I'm a weirdo.
We should get little radios.
We've all seen weird videos, man.
We should get little radios for Daytona. So they'd be like, Justin, where are you? And be like, I'm in Billy's room, and there's 10 people here. Come by. And be like, oh my God, I'm breaking the rules. More than 10 people.
Or it could be like, I'm in the wrong meeting of the hotel. Help me. I don't know where I am. I'm lost.
Or, hey, Justin, where you at, man?
Hey, here, what a concept.
I'm sorry, Phil. I couldn't help. My bad, man. Let's go over here and fuck myself.
Billy's a fun sponge.
It's like, little did I know that there was a tree behind me with branches I could cut down.
Oh my gosh. I really felt like a dick. I was like,
no, because it's
my bad.
stupid. Because here's the thing, I never take stuff from outside because I'm so worried about bugs and parasites and everything else. And like over the past like maybe year or two, I've just been like hosing stuff down with Mike Kill in like a garbage bag before I put it in an enclosure. And I've been doing that actually with a lot with palmetto fronds for like the Eastern Diamondbacks and the cottonmouths and like the native stuff. But like it never occurs to me. Like when I came to your house and you had all that nice wood chopped up in the front yard, I was like, fuck, that's brilliant, man. Why didn't I think of that? I got a tree in the backyard.
Yeah, it's there. Why not use it? You know?
Right? Renewable resource.
People cut down trees all the time. I'm just like, hey, that's from my neighbors. They cut down a whole tree that fell on their house and they put it by the road. And I was like, hey, do you care? They're like, do what you want.
Yeah, right. Dude, how about this? I had a friend in college who, this is actually a brilliant way to like, I don't want to say seduce women, but this is brilliant. He would be talking to a girl and he would be bored or like he would be anxious or whatever. And he would text her and say, hey, I'm going to go chop up some lumber. Do you want to come with me? And she would, because it's all city folk, she'd be like, that sounds interesting. Of course I'd love to join you. And she'd pick her up in the pickup truck and they'd literally go to like the patch of trees behind the landfill. And he would just bring a chainsaw and just like chop down whatever tree he found. Like, who knows who owns it? Who cares who owns it? And he would chop it up. And she'd be like, this is so amazing. I've never seen anyone chop down a tree. And he'd be like, yeah, you want to try it? And like give her the chainsaw, show her how to do it. And then she'd be like, all right, so like, where are we doing with it? He goes, oh no, we're just chopping it down. And then you just leave it there.
Oh, jeez.
But he said it always got them, it always loosened them up.
Chainsaw will do that to you.
Not the effect it gives me. Sorry.
Oh.
I was trying to divert the chainsaw from the grotesque cartel horror to jovial, date night.
Never look at a chainsaw the same again.
Come on, man. We've all seen Scarface.
Scarface wasn't real.
On that note.
All right. Justin's seen some things.
Vietnam flashback.
Back in Da Nang.
There you go.
Tom said if a guy said that to me, I'd think I was going to get murdered. This is not good dating advice, Phil.
Well, this is not, you don't do this the first time you meet someone.
I mean,
this is a girl that he was talking to.
I would probably think the same thing if I were a girl. And some dude was like, want to go chop down a tree with me? It's like, why?
Well, apparently it worked for him a bunch. Now, me personally, obviously I have on my dating profiles when I use them, I had it was like, I like the wilderness, I like Everglades, sunset photography, blah, blah, blah. And the girls are always like, oh my God, I love that. That's so great. I want to see the Everglades. Will you take me to the Everglades? Sure. And then like on date 2 or 3, I'm like, hey, do you want to go into the Everglades? And they're like,
and not come back.
Not yet. Not yet. Well, then why would you say that?
Yes. Yes, it does, Bill.
This is why I'm single.
No, you just gotta chop some trees down.
I feel bad. I don't own the tree. I feel bad.
It's a good date night, and you can get some branches for the cages. It's a win-win for you.
Yeah, but with my luck, freaking lop off a pinky toe or something, you know?
I don't need the
You got 9 more.
You'll be all right. Limps are cool.
You lose 1, God gave you more.
Right? Of course Dominique would bring that up. Everyone else kind of overlooked it. No, Dominique had to shove it in my face.
She's a woman of facts.
I love you, Dominique, legitimately.
Stop trying to kidnap women. Very nice.
I have never tried to kidnap women. I try to kidnap me. They don't want me.
That's actually really good advice. Yeah, don't do that, guys.
Yeah, never kidnap, never force.
Yeah.
Want to
If you
see
get
my
anything from tonight's show, take that.
What?
If you take anything from tonight's show, take that point home.
Yeah. Right?
Don't get in cars with strangers. Don't drink
Don't play with
drinks
yourself.
that are brought to you at bars by people you don't know.
I
I
was dating a girl and she wanted to go in the Everglades because girls always want to go in the Everglades. So I was like, all right, hey, let's go. I have like a circuit that's a pretty good guaranteed circuit to like see wildlife. But what I don't think about was that she's not a herper. And like my circuit, if I do it the way that I normally do it, is probably like 4 or 5 hour trip. Well, like 3.5, 4 hours in, she was like looking out the window. She's like, and I'm like, why did I do this? Why? And then she never asked to go out in the wilderness ever again. I was like, hey, you want to go herping? We'll just hit this one road. She's like, nah, let's just stay in tonight.
That's how you learn if you're into that or not.
Yeah, right.
You never invited me to go on your circuit.
You haven't come down to South Florida.
You never let me know.
Sorry, he hasn't asked me either. So
You don't live in South Florida.
Big what?
I don't live far from South Florida.
That is true.
He has a better chance of going than I do. So.
That is true. Huh? That is true.
No. Me and the boys are going to Texas at some point next year, just so you know.
Oh,
FYI.
You got popcorn.
It's recorded. She knows.
It's true. So it shall be written.
Probably.
So it shall be done.
To do what?
Katie, let's ask you. If you were on the second or third date with a distinguished gentleman that apparently is a lumberjack at Moonlight, if he said, you want to go chop down a tree with me?
With a chainsaw.
With a chainsaw.
No.
There we go.
It worked for him, man. I swear to God, it wasn't like it was not me. It was.
What's happening?
One of his friends.
Dominique's right.
One of his friends, apparently, that's like how he totally scores chicks. Is like, want to go chop down a tree with me?
Not totally. I know that.
Now,
Two
this is
girls he did that with.
Are these are Florida girls too, though, right?
Yeah, I have to take
they're
that
all
new
a mess, aren't they?
Two of them were definitively mud crickets. and then the third one, I never.
No, whoa, back up.
Is that a Florida term?
What is
That's
a
the
mud
thing,
cricket?
yeah. Oh, that's the thing.
Mud cricket?
What is that?
Just Google it.
It's hilarious.
What does it mean?
I know exactly what he's talking about.
Oh yeah.
You gotta look it up.
Is this like an Urban Dictionary lookup?
No, this is just welcome to Florida. It's Florida, baby.
Florida mud cricket. All right.
I got mud crab.
Listen,
is that the same thing?
That would kind of be the same as.
You're really doing this right now.
Oh, no.
It's happening. He just found out.
I can't wait to see her expression on her face.
She looks concerned.
Don't read it. Just look at the images. Just click Google Images, and you'll see.
Oh no!
Are you looking at Google Images?
Oh,
no.
look at her dictionary.
I don't want to. No, don't.
Don't just go to Google Images. Urban Dictionary.
No, turn this off.
It's like a reaction video.
It is a reaction video, legitimately.
I'd imagine Florida Georgia line is probably very popular with this crowd.
Extremely. Any kind of
absolute
music twined with country.
Let's back up.
There's a shirt that says Mud Cricket on it.
I'll get you one.
It's a crop top.
You see why I was laughing, Justin?
Yeah. Mud Cricket Patrol.
Yikes. Okay, now
This is very enlightening.
Let's back up.
Makes complete sense. This is just the icing on the Florida cake.
Who has?
Are you in the photos or no?
Yes. Who has a friend that lures girls into the woods to chop down trees?
Phil.
It wasn't even woods. It's in the city by the dump.
That sounds illegal.
It was.
Convenient, because that's where you dump the body after.
He didn't murder him.
You know, there's too many serial killer documentaries out. Everybody thinks everyone wants to kill him now.
That is true. Like, why do women love Lifetime? I don't understand it.
Love Lifetime?
Yeah, it's like, I just want to cut down a tree. Do some man shit.
All Lifetime is murder documentaries.
I married a serial killer.
Yeah, and like all these stories of like young pretty women getting abducted and some fucking, Buffalo Bill bullshit.
My sister tried to kill me. I didn't know I was pregnant.
Yeah.
That's a real fear.
Yeah, if you're 700 pounds.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Are you staring at mud cricket pictures?
No,
I'm reading the comments. Yeah, no, I totally agree with Dominique on this. Like that, like I was scared to meet up with Justin the first time.
Well, look at him.
And have him
For
walk
real?
me in my car. Yeah, I didn't. I
Are
mean,
you
like I knew you in
serious?
high school, but I didn't know how weird you'd gotten since high school.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
So he's like, "Can I walk you to your car?" And I'm like,
I'll sleep on the couch my own damn self. Thank you. Actually, get some sleeping space to myself.
All right, so Katie, since you are a educated, normal girl, I will ask you this: if you were dating me, whether we'd gone on a couple dates or we were just talking, and you saw Everglades pictures, and you're like, "Oh my God, I've never been. I want to go." If I offered to take you, would you go or no?
I would go, but not in the nighttime.
Okay.
First of all, because of critters.
Well, you're going to see critters, that's the point.
Stupid to go in the nighttime when you can't see
You
a gator
can-
creeping up on you.
You can enjoy these, by the way. I don't like them. That's horrible. Seltzer water is the.
It's
What?
really awesome when you put alcohol in it.
No. Gross.
I can't hear it, and it hurts for me to
Yeah.
stoop.
It's salt water with a hint of a flavor.
That's unfortunate, man. I'm sorry you got duped into that.
Like the meme I saw was like it's like TV static in a can and someone yelling the flavor from another room.
I would have to say, Phil, that I probably wouldn't go into the woods alone with you. I would suggest that it was like a double date or something like that.
A couple what?
A double date. Like I wouldn't go.
Buddy system.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Phil, I'd go in the woods with you, buddy.
I know, and I appreciate that sincerely.
Just know that Phil brings Fiji bottles with him to catch his critters in.
I do. It works like $1,000,000. Well, when trained.
I cut you up and put them in them too.
What's that?
I get a couple fingers in one of those.
Wait, what?
In a Fiji bottle.
Oh.
Well, if you're in the Everglades, you don't need to bring anything with you. You just, there it is.
Well, what's funny is like I've seen other people try and bottle a snake.
Scars.
Yeah, right. I've seen other people try and bottle a snake, and they don't like, not to sound cocky, but they don't have like the wrist or the technique to do it. And I realized that that's because I had years of tubing venomous, and you kind of learn how to do it. So don't go try to shove rattlesnakes in water bottles. Public statement.
PSA.
Well, thank you, Mike. That's reassuring.
I wouldn't even go in the woods with Phil to chop down trees.
I'm not chopping down the trees.
You'd look like you'd be like a little dwarf, like Gimli lumberjack that pops out of the Shire and is like, I'm ready to chop down some trees, man.
I should get an axe and use a Scottish accent.
You can ride on Justin's shoulders and he'll tote you anywhere you need to go.
Who runs Bartertown?
5 dates before you go off the grid with him.
Master Blaster.
Or like a year before you go off the grid with him.
Meanwhile, I got Henry. He just messaged me on Facebook saying, I think you traumatized everyone with the water bottles.
She says it anytime. She's like, every time there's like a picture or something, she's like, oh, is it one of Phil's Fiji bottles? It's like a Where's Waldo now. Where's the Fiji bottle?
I just couldn't. I couldn't. Who was it? Who was it that we were talking to that night?
I don't know.
Who was on that show?
I don't.
Who was
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was Brent.
the look on his face was just
Right. Of course. And then the more he thought about it,
this particular scientific method that
the
he's
more yeah,
I was like, yeah, man, I got a Fiji bottle. I just put him in there.
listen, man, if it works for the guys in the bush, it can work for me.
That's what she said.
Ew.
Hey-o.
Phil, do you still want to come visit us in October?
Yeah.
He's gonna come visit us before then.
He's trying to come sooner.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? You shouldn't even have to question it. You should just say, "Awesome, Phil. I'm so excited for you to be coming to our."
Well, I mean,
home.
like, what's bringing you here sooner?
Don't
We don't
worry
have
about
anything
it.
else
Don't
going
ask
on.
questions. That's between me and that's Phil's business.
Poor Phil is getting.
Billy's coming with him too.
He's getting destroyed.
Welcome. It is not a problem. I'm just, you know.
Oh, they can come over, but I can't go to Texas.
I didn't say that.
Henry says that they do it all the time in Southeast Asia, and they know what they're doing.
With the Fiji bottles?
Well, water bottle in general.
Yeah, they probably don't have Fiji bottles over there.
Yeah, no.
You never know, man.
They got that Piggly Wiggly brand.
I'm going to say no. Piggly Wiggly. I've been to the original one.
Really?
We still have them here.
Yeah.
What?
I was in
There's
South
one out
Carolina.
by Yemassee. Remember?
It's like in the middle of nowhere, I think.
No, wait. Never
Oh,
mind.
Is that what it's at?
There's one in Hardyville. I know that. And there's one in Ridgeland. I mean,
This
they're
is a while
horrible. They're
ago.
overpriced. They're disgusting.
Listen,
They're super
but
gross.
Piggly
They don't
Wiggly
clean
used to be
them.
the bomb growing up. We had one in the town I grew up in, and it had like a hot bar. It was so good.
I feel like I'm in that movie Radio every time I go into one.
This was like 10, 12
Old.
years ago.
I feel like they
Oh,
haven't updated it since the 60s. Like everything's just super old and gross, and like they just need to replace the
touch it.
building. Watch your toes. I don't want to run them over.
You all right, Philip?
I'm good. I'm just letting y'all do your thing. It's cool. I'll continue to be successful in my field collection with my Fiji water bottles.
Phil, I like it, man. It's functional. It's practical.
I told you about the one time.
What?
This has just become the roast of Phil. Poor guy.
Oh, William. That's all right.
Fucking David the Gnome.
Did you enjoy my video the other night I sent you?
I loved your video. I saved it so that when we're shit-faced in the future at your wedding, I can be like, look at this girl.
It's nothing anybody hasn't seen before.
Yeah, it's literally her annihilated drunk saying, I don't think you're a dumb Phil, but you're definitely a fucking nerd, and so is Justin.
That's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah, we're all nerds.
I know.
The best time I ever had with
She abuses me.
the best time I ever had with Venomous in the vehicle was I was transporting two Western Diamondbacks from my friend's house to my house, and I had them individually deli cupped, taped the deli, and then both of them were in a wooden hot box that I have. I use wooden hot boxes that have a 2-inch gap screen on them, and they're labeled, Danger Venomous Reptile, and they have a padlock on them and for transportation purposes.
Mhm.
And I got pulled over for speeding on a major road, and the cop comes up with his flashlight, and he's like, do you have any idea how fast you were going? And I'm like, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know this sounds a little odd, but I'm transporting live rattlesnakes. And he was like, listen, boy, I heard a lot of shit in my day. And like right when he said a lot of shit, I went boom, boom, boom on the box, and it just goes, and he's like, all right, man, get home safe. He's like, he gave me my license plate. He's like, all right, man, get home safe, Dad.
He's used to Florida.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
That's one way to get out of a ticket.
Yeah, it worked, man. It worked.
Hey, where do you live?
He's in Tampa.
Oh, you guys are so close. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
There's
closer
like,
than everybody else.
didn't you say it's like a 6-hour drive to Billy's?
No, yeah, it's supposed to be like three and a half, but when I went to meet up with him in Casey, it was horrible with rain and traffic and
Yeah, that was a shitty day.
And then, like, honestly, the GPS had me take a road that's like a 35-mile-an-hour road across the state, and I was like, fuck that, I know my way around. So I wound up taking my own route, And then when I got within like 5 or 8 miles of Billy, that's when I turned the GPS on.
You found that Chili's though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Take him on a date to Chili's. Somebody's gotta, because I
They
can't.
teased me with pictures of chicken crispers.
I took him to Chili's when he was here.
That's the last time I went to a Chili's. I hope you know.
Right, so where's the Chili's in relation to Buford?
Like an hour
Cooler,
away.
so in Georgia, like Savannah.
Yeah, it's not worth an hour drive.
It is not.
It is
This is
totally
what I'm
worth an hour drive. I will drive there
saying.
every night if it means I get to go to Chili's.
It's
Listen,
not.
we went out.
Guess where I'm going tomorrow for lunch, and you can't come.
Are you going to take Ellie?
I can go to the one 5 minutes from my house.
Probably don't even ever go there, do you? You probably
No,
go there like
it's
once
shitty.
a month, like once every 6 months. You're
It's-
like, whatever. It's just a Chili's. It's not just a
It's
Chili's,
not
Billy.
even good.
It is amazing. That ranch with the fries and the honey chipotle chicken crispers.
Have you had the
Street corn.
Have you had the jalapeno cheddar infused sausage from the Smokehouse combo?
No, I'm not a big jalapeno guy. I literally just go for the chicken crispers.
It was
They're
scrumptious.
chicken nuggets with barbecue
It's
sauce
not
on
chicken
them.
nuggets, it's chicken tenders. Chicken tendies. And they're
He's a
delicious.
one-trick pony, Phil.
It's
I
fine.
can make street corn. It's not hard.
Not like
It's like
theirs. They got
literally
special
easy.
butter.
Fucking
And
Can you make him some crispers, please? Some
What?
crispers and street corn. Can you make that for him, please?
You got to figure out how to make the sauce, otherwise it's not complete.
I bet you I could
Pinterest.
find.
Pinterest.
Really sucks. Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. I got distracted by the comment.
Mike,
I live on Pinterest.
I will withhold the cigars and smoke them myself.
Yeah, those are fighting words, Mike. You can't say that to him, even in joking.
It does suck. Listen, I got this
Call me,
chicken
say
sandwich
what you
there
will about
once,
me,
and that
but
chicken
don't
was
say
so
anything about
rubbery
Chili's.
and disgusting. I was like,
Because you didn't get the chicken crispers.
if they only have one good thing on their menu that does not make them awesome.
And the tortilla chips.
I feel like you have Chili's on a pedestal.
You do.
But
You do.
You guys are out of your
We can agree on that, all three of us? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd concur.
It's a good place to waste time and get some food if you're just like, I don't know where I want to go.
Now I can never go with you again, Billy, because I know that you're not actually going to want to be there.
because it was a pity date.
You're not going to enjoy it.
Justin, I will gladly bring you. Anytime.
So much for
With
sleeping tonight.
Justin, you have to enjoy what he's enjoying. Otherwise, he won't enjoy it.
That's not true at all.
What?
I'll eat it. It's not like it's not edible. It's just not.
It's good. It's just I'm not going to go out of my way for it per se.
You're out of your mind. You don't even have one near you, Phil, do you?
I've got 4.
He could go 4 times in 1 week and not go to the same one.
Yeah. There's one that's like probably 5 to 8 minutes from my house. And then there's one that's like 20 or 30 minutes from my house. And there's another 20 or 30 minute in the other direction. And then the only other one that I know of besides those 3 is actually around the corner from Matt and Jamie's house. So when I go up to visit them, because they're about an hour north of me, when I go to visit them, we'll just go there. 'Cause it's there.
It's a really good thing I'm listening to Total Eclipse of the Heart right now because it fits.
Fucking Madonna over here.
I bet you guys like Applebee's. I bet you think Applebee's is just the Applebee's news.
No.
No, Applebee's sucks.
Applebee's is garbage.
Chili's is better
Probably
than
IHOP,
Applebee's.
Waffle House.
I love IHOP.
See,
I'm an IHOP man.
get out.
T-bone
I'd rather go.
Hula sauce.
I'd rather go to like Five Guys or Chipotle.
Five Guys is
Chipotle is my
garbage.
You shut your mouth, Justin.
Chipotle is a flavorless wasteland that they like to call themselves. It's like the worst Americanized gentrified
I can't deal. I can't work with this.
taco.
Oh, bada bing,
Guys, this is the last episode of Snakes and Stogies.
bada bing.
It's been a good run. Appreciate all the support.
I love Five
No,
Guys,
no,
but I can only go there when I can get approved for a small loan to go and eat there.
What I want to do is, this is crazy. I want to go.
Hamburgers and fries.
I want to go to Chipotle and get a burrito, but I want to bring the queso from Tijuana Flats and be like, "Hey, can you pour this on my burrito on the inside?"
Just sneak
They
some
have-
in a little
They have
flat.
queso now.
I don't think we don't have one of those there. I've been to one in Jacksonville though, and it is pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. They have queso now, Phil.
I know, but their queso isn't as good as Tijuana Flats. And yes, Chipotle is hippie food, and it's delicious.
It's delicious. I'm with you.
I don't get a bowl. I got a goddamn burrito.
Moe's sucks.
Moe's
I mean, Moe's is going to cater the wedding, but that's because it's our only.
I was kidding. That wasn't. I was just trying to be funny.
Listen, it's your wedding. It'll be delicious. It'll be beautiful.
It will be delicious because we're all going to be drunk on margaritas.
Yes.
You won't be able to taste it.
Justin looks defeated. Poor guy. Oh, Katie, while I have you, can I show you something that I thought was funny?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Justin likes taking embarrassing pictures of me.
I take pictures of him while he's eating like I do to you.
Oh my god, he does that to fucking everybody.
Yeah, he does.
I had to threaten to break up with him to get him to stop. I was like,
you think that stopped me?
We ain't going out on anymore, dude. You should have seen the picture that was my icon on his phone for the longest time.
So you took a picture of you guys riding bikes, so I zoomed in on that one.
Look at that. Like the bear at the circus.
I don't know why it's so funny to me, but I love that. He
was enjoying the hell out. Do you see his little herping stick on his bike? He's got it at the ready.
It does. That's funny.
He's like, wait. And I was like, what? He's like, I gotta get my hook.
You never know.
Never know.
And they need it, not have it.
We were prepared.
It's heavy enough to fight off muggers.
You are heavy enough to fight off muggers.
That's just
yes, with the we were not dating at that point. I just want you to know that is
I can see why.
Kitty interest. Yes, that was at his sister's wedding.
Oh my god!
Freaking Peter Griffin in a freaking.
Did you see the caption his dad put on that one?
It's been a while.
He said something about a Sasquatch with his appetizer.
Poor guy. Sorry, Justin.
I don't even care. It's a good thing I'm not self-conscious and I'm a confident individual.
Nothing.
He has multiple pictures of me like mid-bite from the side that are so unflattering.
Listen, when we got engaged, the day that we got engaged, we went to his grandma's and we told everybody. And was it Mal and Michael weren't there? I think that week. His sister and brother-in-law were not there. So he tells Mallory, he tells his sister that they were engaged with a picture of me holding a fork with a bite midway to my mouth. He's like, look, we got engaged. And I'm like,
anything? That's James Lewis. That's the work of James Lewis.
There's a whole bunch of. I don't want to show the Burke one.
The ET one. Voldemort and Wormtail.
The people listening to this as a podcast are.
Is that fit? Who is that?
It's Jake.
It's Jake.
All right, it is 12:18. I have to go to bed. I wake up in the morning.
That sucks.
Yeah, some of us have to work in the morning.
Some of us do, but I don't.
Yeah.
Not tomorrow. No, I'm good.
See? We pay for the account on here now. We can go as long as we want.
Oh my god.
There was a time limit before?
Yeah. Well, you can only do like 24 hours a month.
Really?
Were you guys even coming close to that?
Yeah, sometimes.
Wow. That's cool.
Huh. Didn't know that.
All right. Well, I'm out, children. It was lovely to have an evening with you all. Thank you to anyone who puts up with my bullshit.
You guys are living in the future. We are living in the future. He's on West Coast time, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
And he will be getting his cigars in the next couple of days. I'm sure we will get to hear about how awesome they all are.
Yeah.
Billy looks like he's about to fall asleep.
Billy always looks like that.
That's my face.
Billy's got that resting narcoleptic face.
Yeah.
You know, I just realized.
We're pretty sure he's not even a person. We think he's a robot. He doesn't show emotion. You can't get a rise out of him in any way.
It's probably the most I've smiled in like ever. So.
Stoic bastard.
10 days.
He's stoic sometimes.
Huh?
It's 10 days, guys.
For real?
Is it?
Oh shit!
Holy shit!
10
Yeah,
days.
I got no money to send you.
10 days.
dude, I'm so excited. You have no idea. I don't even care if they cancel it.
I don't care either.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I just
surprised
wanna
it's
be nude
still
on the beach.
gonna
Shh.
This is not what you
Billy,
told
should we tell them
Listen,
about the surprise?
is looking at snakes a metaphor? Or is it
What?
like you actually
What?
are you gonna be like on a nude beach looking at snakes, or are you gonna be in like an event hall looking at real snakes?
I don't want to be on a nude beach.
Yeah, there's no nude beach there anyway that I know of.
That's not what I was told last year.
Oh, really?
That explains all the screaming and running.
If there was a nude beach right there, it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It was mine for a day,
Oh, nice.
a morning at least.
Billy, should we tell them about our little surprise or no?
That's up to you, man.
No, it's up to you.
What is it? Is it a surprise for everyone else? Do I already know about this or no?
It's a
No,
surprise
you don't know
for a select few of our core friends. So
It's up to Phil.
we'll leave it at that then. We'll leave it a surprise.
Okay,
Bill,
Phil.
Do you have enough of a surprise for the whole class?
No, not the whole
I don't
class.
feel like
but
I know what's going on.
the core group of our friends. Yes, absolutely. We made sure
I don't know.
It's your own personalized Fiji water bottle.
that would be hilarious. But
Good.
no.
Monogrammed.
Oh, she's good. That's it. That's
Phil's
what
head
it
is
is.
all the coconuts.
Yeah.
What is this surprise? Do I know about it or no?
No.
It's the Fiji bottles. But
Yeah.
thanks, Katie.
That's out of the bag.
Is someone going to tell me at some point?
You'll know when we hand it to you.
I guess
What?
10 days.
No.
Everyone gets a baby Dunn's python. Everyone.
Except Billy.
You get a python. You get a
Oh, man. Yeah, that's going to continue to be a thing.
python.
Yeah. That wound, we're just going to continue to rub salt in it, buddy.
That's.
It'll never heal. We keep picking at the scab.
I'll get them eventually. It is what it is.
What wound is this?
I wasn't trying to be a dick, Billy. I really wasn't.
It's okay. I know you're trying to get me excited. I know.
But yeah, I think that we just keep it a secret.
All right. We'll find out. And dude, it is really close. Holy shit.
10 days, baby.
What day are you getting there, Phil?
I will be there Friday afternoonish. I try and drop the dog off my parents around 9 o'clock. Then that puts me in Stewart at about 10 o'clock. Figure about 30 minutes at Matt and Jamie's, just like packing the car up or whatever. And then 3.5 hours north.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to get you guys vendor badges if I can.
Hell yeah.
So you don't have to wait in the line. Because if you leave for any reason, if there's a line, you have to wait in it. And as people leave, you'll have to do that. So
Yeah.
see what happens.
And then whatever, regardless of badges or not, I'm gonna get into the hotel. I'll probably check in the room, drop the gear off, and then if you and Anita need help, I'll be there doing nothing. So I'll
I'm
just
confused. Is that the surprise?
What's
No,
that?
you're not going to know what the surprise is until you're there.
Surprise don't
Sorry about
stay surprised till you get there.
And the surprise is nothing crazy, but it's cool.
Well, apparently it's crazy enough to be a surprise.
Like Phil, is it going to be another scorpion?
No, it's not alive.
That is not going to fly.
It's not alive. Don't worry.
It's nothing live.
Nothing live.
Oh,
There's no
I'm
blood.
happy to know the one that could kill me died. So
Sweet.
That's depressing.
It
Sorry.
happens. It's a bug.
So I found out today, I need to send an email to double check, but one of my buddies I talked to today said that they possibly let you set up on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
So if I could set up Thursday when we get there, that'll be so easy.
Yeah.
So hopefully that works out.
Yeah, and then Dominique says that her and Carly are flying in Thursday afternoon. So
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
because me, Matt, and Jamie, we all work Thursday, but you know what? I can't come Thursday night because I don't have the hotel room for Thursday night. Fuck. I'll just see you Friday.
See you Friday, buddy.
See you Friday. On that note, I'm going to bed.
All right, Phil.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Take it easy.